Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Aso, this is Aso Tarot, and in today's reading, we're doing a classic, everybody's favorite, the one that y'all always ask for. We are asking, how is the person you're asking about currently feeling about you? So this is going to be a pretty straightforward reading. We're going to start with an energy check where we're first going to look at your energy and your feelings towards the person you're asking about. So that part should resonate. If you find the situations are flip-flopped, maybe try a different group first before you watch that one all the way through, because if you're on their energy side, you are going to hear about a deep dive into your feelings, not their feelings. So I would try and see if there's one that's flip-flopped. Obviously, if your energy and feelings does not match the person you're asking about, then that's not your reading. But if you find one where you're like, yep, this is the energy that I have towards this person, this is how I feel about them, then we're going to look at what their current energy / feelings are towards you overall. That will just give me further context for when we do the deep dive. But before we do that, we are going to look at the energy between the both of you as well. So this is something you're both experiencing, something you're both contributing to. So then we are going to then use the tarot deck that you choose to dive deeper into this person's feelings and energy towards you. We're looking specifically, I guess, at feelings, but it's more than that. I'm leaving it open. You know, whatever's going on in this person's world when it comes to you, we're going to look at that. And we're going to finish off with guidance. And that guidance is going to be specifically empowering guidance for you so that you can be just as informed as possible and be able to make good decisions and feel like you've gotten something concrete out of this reading. But if you would like more out of this reading, we are doing an 18+ spicy extended that will be linked down below on Vimeo, and this is going to be centered around desires. So we're going to start by doing a deep dive into what they find alluring, irresistible, what they desire about you. And so we're going to look specifically at your physical body, your physical appearance, your physicality in general. We're going to look at what they find irresistible about your mind, what they find interesting about you, what they find precious or irresistible or alluring about your heart, and what they find irresistible about your spirit. So we're going to see all the different aspects of what they love about you, what draws them to you. Then we are going to look at what is it like for them to be physically intimate with you, or if you haven't been with them in that way, what do they think it would be like? So what do they fantasize about? And if you have been with them, what do they think about? What does their mind go back to? So we're going to kind of see what's going on there. And then we're going to see what hidden desires they have. And this could be 18+, or this could be innocent. It could be both. I'm leaving that kind of open to whatever wants to come through. And then after we look at their desires, we're going to see how they would feel about your desires if they knew them. We're assuming that they don't. So if there's a desire that you have, whether it's spicy or not, we're going to see how they would react to it, at least at this time, and what their reaction is. We'll kind of go into it in the extended, but like their reaction may not be a fixed thing. It's just how they would react to it if they knew right now. And then we will look at how can you make yours and their desires a reality. So what can you do to create the opportunity to make these things real and have these desires manifest in your physical world. So if you are interested in that, definitely go check it out down below after your reading. I work really hard on these, and they have a lot of positive response. Thank you to everyone who checks them out and supports me and hypes up the extendeds, because I work really hard on them. And yeah, if you like chaos and me being even more vulgar than I typically am, definitely want to check me out there. But if not, that is okay too. So we have 4 different groups for you guys to choose from today. So starting with group number 1, we are going to be using the Joie de Vivre tarot, and I have this, I think it's alabaster, I don't know if it's something with an A, heart, and we have this hummingbird carving in it on top. And then for group number 2, we are going to be using the Tarts tarot cards, and I have this Mangano Calcite heart on top. And then for group number 3, we are going to be using the Dark Heart Tarot by the Queen herself, Vanessa Samina. And I have this Lapis Lazuli heart on top. And then finally for group number 4, we are going to be using the Tarot of Oneness. And I have this rainbow heart on top. So with that being said, go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. Could be possible that you're in one group, they're in one group. Could be possible you're asking more than one person, or you may need to do a process of elimination. That's why we do the energy check, to help you out so that you don't have to just rely on your intuition. You can have something to support it. But with that being said, we are going to go ahead and go into our Make a Wish portion, mini reading portion. So intro squad, sound off. I love to see you guys show up. And intro squad, I want to tell you a little secret about creatorship. If you are here, you are part of intro squad. Part of creatorship is about looking at our belief systems and looking at what in our belief systems conflicts with what we want to create. So for example, when it comes to love, you could have this belief that deep down you're not good enough and you're not lovable, and that belief could be getting in the way of your ability to create or to have a type of connection where you feel loved and desired the way that you want to and the way that you deserve to. So for example, maybe let's say you have someone in your life that loves and desires you, but even if you have that belief, you could push them away, or you may not even be able to feel and receive the love that they have for you because you believe that it's not yours, you can't have it, or it will not stick around. That's just a quick example. So what I want you guys to do, whether it's in the comments, I would love to read them, or on your own time, what is a belief that you're ready to shed, and what is the truth that you want to replace it with? So for example, with that lovability example, the belief I'm breaking up with, the belief I'm doing away with, the belief I'm eliminating is that I'm not good enough for love and that I can't have love. And what I'm replacing it with is I'm inherently lovable, I deserve love, or I'm not only lovable, but I'm also allowed to receive love. Something like that. It can be anything like that. Definitely feel free to share that with me. And if that's too much, if that's too personal, share with me something that you're really proud of your progress on, or that you have improved on, whether it's something you've healed, a skill that you've gotten better at. Just with this star card, I just really want to highlight a lot of the positive energy that we've got going on right now in the face of intense stuff going on in the world. And I just really want this to be a time where you guys feel good about how far you've come, feel good about what the future holds, what your own ability to create in the future, and what you have the opportunity to cultivate. So we are using the star candle today. And every star candle, well, first of all, it's my favorite scent. Every star candle comes with a mini star crystal inside. And as with all of my candles, you can use code ASO10 for 10% off any candles on Jug Magic 888 site. So, ooh, okay, beautiful. We have the Temperance card. I will read that in a second, but I really love to see the turquoise star here because that is just telling me that speaking your truth is very powerful at this time, and that what you believe and what you trust is what is most true. So let's just admire how gorgeous she is. And then if you want to, you can pause the video and focus on the candle, focus on what you wish, what you want to come about. You can even focus on the affirmation that you are creating. And with whatever you're letting go, you don't have to reaffirm every time that you're letting it go. If it services, you can say, nope, I let it go, and reinforce what you're creating, but definitely focus on what you're creating. Definitely put what you are creating in here. So if what you're creating is reflection in the physical world of the fact that you are lovable, then put that in there. May yours, mine, and all of our wishes come true. Okay, so let's talk about this Temperance card. This card is, I think, very powerful because it is a reminder to be patient, but also know that things are going well. I feel like this card even kind of powerfully shows what we were just kind of talking about. Like, it ties into this idea of letting go of the old and entering the new. There's kind of this interplay going on between old and new, I think, in a lot of ways, in ourselves, in the world. And when it comes to you, I feel like the universe is wanting to commend you on how far you've come. Archangel Michael is in this card, so if you have had any interaction with Archangel Michael or not, just know that he's coming through to say hello, that he is protecting you, that he is watching over you. If you've seen any powerful signs recently, they could be from him. But also, there is an emphasis here around expansion of consciousness and trusting yourself more. I feel like this is reassurance that you're doing a great job, but you're only halfway through your journey right now, whatever that may be. And maybe halfway is, a generalization. We could all be at different places, but you're at a place right now where slow and steady is the best approach, and a balanced approach is what's going to be best for you. Definitely try not to lean into all or nothing thinking or lean into lifestyles that, leave you unbalanced. This is the time to move with grace, move steadily. Don't push yourself. Don't go too far on one end or the other. The more balanced you can live your life at this time, I think the more smoothly it will flow. But there's also encouragement here to be using your mental energy on things that expand your consciousness, things that reinforce the life that you're creating, and things that just make you feel good and uplifted. If you're consuming a lot of things that make you feel fearful or negative, try to balance that out with some things that are more uplifting or that are maybe more neutral, so that you're not being sucked into certain collective energies at this time. You have the ability to be a lot more stable on your path right now, maybe than you are, and it could just be a requirement of shifting a couple of different ways that you're going about your life right now. I feel like you're being encouraged to look at what small things can I do that would make a huge difference. Like, for example, maybe going to bed a half an hour earlier, or giving yourself longer to decompress before you go to bed, or there's so many things, like maybe adding vegetables to your smoothie so that you get a portion of vegetables that you wouldn't get otherwise. Just doing small things that could make a big difference, I think, could be really helpful at this time. And I feel like if you're expecting quick, rapid change or wanting things to happen all at once, I feel like this is a sign to say that right now things don't need to happen all at once. They're happening in the perfect time, in the perfect way. And there's a lot more happening underneath the surface. Like, when I think of temperance, I also think of alchemy. And I think that right now you're going through some powerful internal processes that are helping you grow into just the best version of yourself you've witnessed so far. And this is not a process to be rushed. You are not fast food. You are the finest food in being created by the finest chef. And you're 5 stars, baby. Okay, you can't get the magic that you are in a drive-through. So don't expect that you're gonna be just finished and complete. Well, there's really no such thing as that, right? But the next stage in your journey, the next step of just feeling super connected to yourself and who you've become, I feel like you're in a powerful process around that right now. And I also think that if you're looking into higher learning, or looking into expanding your skills or your mind in some way, you're being encouraged to do that, but to be patient about that process. Like, don't rush into anything, because you might find something that works better for you, or you might find that maybe you're looking at something that's, while ambitious, maybe not realistic with your schedule. So you might have to find something that, while might take longer, is more supportive for your schedule. But this is definitely an encouragement for you to add in more new things to your life that are not only things that I feel like for some of you you've been looking forward to or considering for a long time, but also things that could just make you a more well-rounded person and give you just more excitement in life and more to look forward to, and a different way to look at things. And all of that is going to be really helpful for you. And if there's a Sagittarius in your life that has been prominent, they could be coming through to say hi, or a Sagittarius in your life might be a beneficial person to interact with. They could help you expand your consciousness in ways that you haven't experienced yet, or maybe they have a message for you without even knowing that they do. I don't know, but that's what I'm getting for this Temperance card. So we're not in a pile yet. Intro squad, I love you guys. I hope this resonated. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for supporting me, for sharing yourselves, for making the comment section such a great place to be. And yeah, just for being awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the readings now. Thank you guys so much for being here and for letting me read for you. And once you have picked your pile or piles, I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile one. Welcome to your reading and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Hummingbird heart and the Joie de Vivre tarot, this is going to be a reading on how your person is, or well, your person, the person you're asking about, is currently feeling about you. So if you want a full breakdown of the reading, there is one in the intro. So we are going to go ahead and start with the energy check. We're going to be looking at your feelings for this person on the left. The person you're asking about is on the right, and these two cards will represent the energy between the two of you. So if the you part does not resonate, I would try a different reading or a different group. Anyway, starting with how you are feeling about this person, we have the Wheel of Fortune. We have Denial. I acknowledge my fear, but replace it with the insight of awareness. And I wish I could kiss you. And then for the person you are asking about, I actually got two of these cards. We have Judgment and the Six of Swords. We also have Gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. And Defensive, because I have been hurt. Let me make sure are these all, yep, they are. And finally, for the energy between the two of you, we have Higher Will, just kind of weird, but I'll say why in a second. And we have Romantic Love. The frequency of romantic love supports our experience to know ourselves through the reflection of a conscious lover. So as I was laying out these cards, I was hearing Higher Love by Whitney Houston in my head, which could have just been because I adore Whitney Houston and she's in my head a lot, but it did come through very randomly, so that could be a song for you. That could be significant here. So let's go ahead and start with you and where you're at in terms of this person and this connection. So I do see that there could be a little bit of a separation between how the vibes, how things feel around you, how things actually are, and then also how, and then the separation is between that, like how you sense things, how things seem to be, how they're appearing, and then also how your conscious mind is taking it and reacting to it. Because I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune being here, I feel like you have awareness that you're where you need to be in this situation. It seems like there are positive changes happening and you see things changing positively. It also seems like luck is on your side. Oh, well, no wonder you're in denial. You got to start believing that good things can happen to you, you silly goose, because they can. You came to this video, you know a good thing when you see it. Maybe try looking in the mirror next. Pile one challenge. It definitely seems like things have been changing in this connection for the better, at least from your perspective. It seems like there's also this greater spiritual energy, which I will say is highlighted for the both of you and separately, where it seems like for you, you're very much recognizing the greater cycles of things. You could be looking at that in terms of you and this person, unless they're a newer person. Well, I mean, even then, if they're a newer person, then you could be looking at like the timing in which they've entered your life. It just seems like things are looking up for you. They could be looking up in this situation with this person. There are a couple of scenarios I'm getting there, so bear with me. But it seems like you could be fearful or almost in denial about that because you're afraid of that being too good to be true or the rug being pulled out from underneath you. I'm going to circle back to you in a second. I do want to look at your person quickly and kind of get out all of the different scenarios that I'm seeing here, just so that you guys have that sort of comfort, and then also it will give me greater insight into you as well. So your person has definitely undergone a very powerful change recently. And they're definitely ready to leave the past in the past and move forward. Now, how this looks for each of you is going to be different. So let's say, for example, you and this person are already in a relationship. I would not be shocked then if you and this person had some sort of argument, some sort of falling out, or some sort of conflict that was a powerful wake-up call for this person. And if it wasn't the conflict itself, it could be the consequences as a result. Like, so for example, maybe you gave this person an ultimatum of like, either, you know, this changes or we can't continue to be together. It definitely seems like if that is the case, this person has taken that to heart. They might be at a distance from you right now, and I did want to highlight that distance does seem to be a factor here. It could be emotional distance, but I feel like for some of you there's definitely a physical distance here, especially with you being over here holding this phone saying I wish I could kiss you. It's quite possible that you guys could be taking some time to cool down, or it's possible that maybe this person is at a distance from you physically, but that has not stopped the powerful spiritual energy from making them recognize like the value of this connection, the value of you, the value of this relationship. If this is a newer person, I definitely feel like there is something about you and their connection to you that is making them want to put their fears of emotional intimacy, their fears of romantic love in the past, or not be such a barrier to their life anymore. I can see them desiring it. I wouldn't be shocked if you kind of perceive this person as being a little bit kind of putting up a wall between the two of you, especially emotionally. Maybe that was an issue you highlighted. Or this could be a situation where you and this person, you know, have never really gotten around to grounding things the way that you've wanted to, despite the energy always being there. This person has definitely had profound realizations when it comes to how they love, who they are as a person, what you mean to them, your role in their life recently. And I feel like it has opened their heart a lot, especially with this gratitude card being green. Like if you've gone through it with this person, or if you've had a lot of challenges, I can definitely see that they're feeling grateful for whatever these challenges showed them. And then if this is a newer person or someone you only recently became romantically involved with, I can see that they feel grateful for the challenges of their past because they're ready to finally release them. I definitely think for some of you, this person is reflecting a lot on just the things that they missed in the past. If it's related to you and them, I definitely think they're very grateful for the ways in which you've shown them grace and patience, but also the fact that whatever has occurred between the two of you, it has helped aid them in recognizing where they needed to grow and where they needed to change. I can definitely see if you guys got into an argument recently, they may still be a little bit standoffish and not ready to kind of talk to you about what all they've realized, but I definitely see them getting ready for that. If that's not the case, I do just see them taking a while to kind of warm up to more affection or romantic intimacy, just because I do feel like that makes them feel very vulnerable. And so they might be extra sensitive to things like that. So I also think there's this awareness on their end that they need to be the one to take some sort of action here. Like the ball is in their court. I definitely think that they know that they can't stay in the past, whether it's a toxic cycle that they've been in with you or a toxic cycle that they've been in on their own, or maybe they push love away, or where maybe they're afraid to open their heart again because of being hurt in the past. I feel like they're realizing they're just keeping life out, and that's not helpful. And they're ready to put the past in the past and step into something new. Now, how this is with you, moving back to you, I definitely feel like if you have history with this person, there could be some denial there of like, yeah, right, maybe they'll change for a little bit and then they'll go back, or maybe denial that they feel the same way as you do, or that you're worth the change is necessary. And all of that, I'm just gonna recommend that you take a good hard look at and recognize like that those are all beliefs around your lovability that are unhelpful to you and that do not get you where you want to go. So I would stop being in denial about your worth and your value and your lovability, and instead start looking at those things that put you in denial about things being good or things getting better in the first place. Because with the connecting energy here, we have higher will here. So I definitely think that there have been greater spiritual currents in both of your lives individually that have led to profound change, but also I think it has led to profound change with each other. It feels like there's some sort of spiritual thread that's connecting the both of you, that's pulling the both of you where you need to go, bringing you together, pushing you apart when necessary, potentially, if it's to grow. It just kind of seems like both of you have surrendered a lot of personal willpower in this situation, not in like a victimizing way, but just in a way of there's something greater here we need to leave space for, because it's guiding us where we need to go and showing us what we need to see. And I also think there's recognition of the fact that there is a lot of romantic, loving energy between the two of you. Even if you guys haven't shared that yet, I definitely think you're both aware of the potential there. I think both of you see that there is some sort of reason why you've been put in each other's lives. And I also think for you, there is this desire for physical closeness with this person. And for some of you, if you got in an argument with this person, like if you have history with them, it might take time for them to come around, just because they might be licking wounds and also like needing to kind of process all that they've realized. For some of you, even if this is a newer person, like maybe if you are at a physical distance from them, maybe there is just a need to have faith in a higher power in terms of how things come together for the both of you. But I can definitely see you have a desire for more closeness, and this person is realizing that it has realized where their walls around closeness are, and the fact that those are keeping them stuck and keeping them miserable. And I think one thing that they've realized is that they don't want to keep you at a distance. They don't want to, if you guys have a long-standing dynamic, especially one that isn't great, they want that to change, one that isn't helpful. If this person has held back from going into a more romantic space with you, I feel like that's something that they are changing their mind on and realizing that's not something I want. There's also the potential that like maybe you started seeing someone or something like that and they realized, oh, that's not, oh, I really don't like that, and why am I letting a good thing go away? I think there's that kind of recognition from this person. But I think both of you right now are very much processing the changes that have happened. I feel like in your case, you feel optimistic, but your brain is having a hard time trusting in that. Like, you know, things are changing. But I also want to mention, if the person you're asking about, I'm going to spell this word because I'm not allowed to say it, which is crazy. If this person is Abusive, don't watch this reading. Don't watch readings about people like that. You're not going to get the guidance that you need in a tarot reading about a situation like that. I would highly recommend looking up like DV, like domestic violence resources or things like that can be helpful and supportive for you. But I mean, if this is just a situation where you and this person have engaged in like toxic patterns, like toxicity can be changed and can grow, and you know, you can grow beyond that. But also it could just be toxicity individually. Like maybe the inner toxicity that you're working through is this belief that you're not good enough, or that this belief that you can't have what you truly desire, or that other people don't feel the same way about you, or that it's never your time for love. And I think for this person, you know, some inner toxicity that they may be releasing is this idea of, well, love hurts, or love isn't real, or if I'm emotionally available, it will leave me hurt and leave me trapped or suffering. But I feel like your person at the least has come out on the other side of this, and I would be willing to bet you as well have been kind of recognizing already where maybe your belief systems just aren't helpful. I can see you just really yearning for more closeness with your person, and I see your person really processing where they were wrong and where they were keeping you and keeping life out and the universe out, and realizing, wow, all of these situations, like they're connected. Like they've been showing me where I need to move forward, where I need to leave the past in the past, and where I need to step up and be the person I know I can be. So let's go ahead and dive more deeply into what this person is feeling and thinking, because I definitely think that you seem to be intertwined in their personal growth and development as well. And I think that's part of the reason why they're feeling such a romantic vibe and feeling so intense about you, is because like it's not just about like how you make them feel, it's about what you teach them about themselves without even trying to. And I think that they're realizing how significant that is. So while I'm shuffling, if you are interested, there will be an extended for this reading where it is going to be 18 plus, and we're going to be looking at things like what their hidden desires are for you. We're going to do a deep dive on what they find like attractive / irresistible about you. So we're going to look like mind, body, spirit, heart. What do they love? What do they adore about you? We're going to look at their hidden desires. We're going to look at how they would describe intimacy with you, if they've already been intimate with you. If they haven't, how do they visualize it? How do they picture it? We're going to look at how they would react to knowing some of your hidden desires. And we're also going to look at what you can do to make those desires a reality. So if you're interested, that'll be linked down below. But if not, I'm just grateful you're here. Thanks for being here. And if you want to support me in a free way, helpful ways to do that are to let the ads play, leave me a little like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to everyone who does that. Thank you for being here. And just thank you for letting me read for you. So this is technically going to be this person's feelings, but I'm leaving it open if there are other energies that want to come through. So I kind of really just want to see in general, like what your person's like energy is towards you, what their feelings are about the situation, how they're processing, etc. So Spirit, what can you tell us about the person pile number 1 is asking about? The first question I guess I want to ask is, what have they realized about pile 1 and their connection with them that has... We have the 2 of Wands. Okay. Keep going. Can we go deeper into their feelings, their energy? Yeah, we have the Chariot. Very interesting. We have the Emperor. What else? Spirit, what else can you tell us about this person? We have the 3 of Swords. And we have the Empress. Wow. Okay, yeah. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Cups. So if you haven't heard from this person in a little while, I wouldn't be shocked if the first time you do hear from them or the next time you hear from them, they are very lighthearted and playful. They could, I mean, and the Page of Cups too is an apology card. And actually what I heard while I was laying these out is I'm sorry. And I feel like even if this person hasn't technically done anything wrong, I feel like they still feel guilty or feel sorry for the ways in which they kept you out and didn't share with you. Because with the 2 of Wands here, one thing that they realized is that this isn't the most eloquent phrase, but they realize they have to shit or get off the pot. Where they can't keep you in this perpetual limbo, and they can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You know, that's insanity. And I feel like this person has been kind of stuck at a threshold of wanting change but continuing to do things the same, and your influence in their life made them realize, I need to start actually choosing different. I feel like they reached that point where the same is finally so unbearable that they need to change. And with this 2 of Wands being here, you could have been dating other people or going out and making your own choices that didn't put this connection first, which is totally okay and super healthy, especially if you have no agreement to do that. And I feel like that actually helped this person realize, oh, pile 1's really important to me, and I've been allowing selfish decisions to kind of put them on the back burner. But here's what's really interesting with the Chariot here. They want to be successful with you. And I think one big reason why that is, whether they're already in a relationship with you or whether you're just getting to know them, you're dating, something like that, they're realizing, oh, I benefit so much from being around pile one. I feel more empowered and successful. And here's one actually interesting thing as well. You've been partially responsible in giving them a heart awakening. And that heart awakening has been partially fueled by spirit, partially created by, you know, the spiritual energy you have, and then like just the role that you play in your connection with them. I feel like they're realizing that they need to be more balanced, and in a lot of ways they haven't been balanced. Like, for example, maybe you've been giving more recently, or maybe they're happy to share with you in certain ways, but like other ways, like maybe having a heart to heart, for example, is something that they couldn't do. Or maybe they were just hesitating a lot on moving things forward. I feel like they're realizing they need to make the choice to move things forward, because not only do they want to, but they're also realizing they don't always know what's best for them. And in those cases, the universe is looking out for them. And I think they've realized you're looking out for them as well. There's something in terms of them reflecting on past behavior where you've either always had their best interests at heart, or if you have history with them, if you've made changes or done things differently, you've always stuck by that. Like, if you needed to change, if you needed to do something differently, you did that, and it wasn't an ordeal. I feel like they're also realizing how they didn't choose to trust you, and I think that's something they're regretting. The interesting thing about the Chariot is that the figure in the Chariot, I don't know if they're doing it in this one. Let me look. Okay, I guess they are. And in this Chariot, this figure is holding the reins. But in the typical Rider-Waite Chariot, being pulled by titty sphinxes, that is true. You can Google it. It is being pulled by titty sphinxes. The figure in the Chariot is not holding the reins. It's allowing the greater divine spiritual energy to guide the chariot, and as long as the person on it is balanced, it stays in balance. So I definitely think that, number one, this person has every intention to take action here, to move towards more closeness, and to rebalance things in this situation. I feel like you've definitely kind of already done all you can here, or just recognize that it's not your place to make things happen right now. You might feel that quite deeply, actually. And with this Emperor card here, I feel like it really ties in with this Three of Swords card. They've been trying to control every element of their life in ways that are actually very disempowering. And I feel like for them, they're really stepping into leadership and into sovereignty in ways where they're realizing they can't control their heart. They can't live a fully embodied life. They can't truly be free if they are hiding their heart and hiding from the things that light their heart on fire. And I also think they're realizing that trying to protect and control their heart is not true control. It's not true empowerment. And with the Empress card being here, I definitely feel like they see you as a very powerful counterbalance. So, I mean, you both can embody Emperor and Empress energies. But I think one thing that they're realizing is that if they don't already, they definitely see the potential for something long-lasting here with the two of you. And I think that on a personal level, this person is realizing that they should be softer with you. And I feel like one thing they feel bad about is not being as soft and as affectionate as maybe they would have even liked to be in the past, like something was just holding them back. And I also think that they kind of have had to weigh up they've had this realization, like, what's more painful? Opening my vulnerable heart up to someone who does have power over it, i.e. you, because they have romantic feelings for you, or hiding those feelings and letting that person go and do and experience that with others in their life. And that's even more heartbreaking. And I think they're having that realization. I think they're really I feel like you both are having very powerful shifts in terms of the balance of like yin and yang energy for the both of you. I feel like both of you are learning how to soften and recognize where your power actually lies. And I feel like for your person, they really see a successful future with you, and like becoming a person that maybe they thought in the past they couldn't become. And they recognize now that there are choices that they have to make and steps that they need to take in order to get there. And I think that's really what they're focused on. I definitely think that they're not going to reveal to you all at once kind of what's in their mind. I definitely think they're wanting to take things one step at a time here. If you guys are already together, then I'm sure that some of what I'm saying does not come as a surprise to you, because you guys have probably already talked about like your future, you know, what you guys want together in the future. But if you guys, if this is a newer situation or you guys haven't been together in that way, I think that there is this intensity around the fact that it does feel kind of serious, like without even maybe understanding why it feels so serious. And I think this person is realizing that they like that intensity, and that intensity is actually what's pushing them to grow in the first place. And also, if you've known this person for a long period of time, they've witnessed you grow so much in ways that are very powerful. And I think that if you have history with them and they've ever hurt you, I think that they're recognizing how they were bleeding on you. They were bleeding on you who wasn't innocent. Like someone else cut them and they were bleeding on you, and that wasn't fair. I feel like that's really painful and something that they are learning to accept. That might be something you guys have conversations about. But I think this person sees a brighter future with you, and they want to leave the past in the past and see what new could be created. And I think they're very grateful for the fact that they've seen this now, and that they know what needs to go, what needs to stay, and that they know that they're not too far gone. The situation is not too far gone. Like, there can be healing here. I think they see a bright future with you. I think they see a lot of exciting opportunities for creation. If one of you is more feminine and one of you is more masculine, I could definitely see them seeing you as like the perfect counterbalance there. And I think one thing that they realized that they didn't before was that your views and your desires are not as divergent as maybe they thought. Or maybe it's not that they were diverging, it's maybe just this person didn't know what they wanted, or they assumed what you wanted, and so they weren't actually accurate about what was going on. I definitely think there's just awareness in general that you are an inspiration to make them want to choose differently. And I think that now that they've had this heart expansion, they're able to release past heartache that's kind of kept them in this like defensive place, in this place of like kind of pushing out affection, pushing out romantic interest, and instead welcoming in the beautiful feelings that it creates. And I think that their heart is online in a way where it feels less daunting to do romantic things and to want to do romantic things. I definitely feel like this is a slow and steady thing. Like, you're going to see this person make gradual changes, but I do think one of the first steps they're going to take in the near future is either sending you a flirty message, asking you on a date, or, you know, saying, hey, I'm sorry, or hey, can we sit down and talk? I definitely think that they want to settle into this newfound emotional awareness with ease, you know. If you're going into a cold pool, they want to start in the shallow end and get acclimated. They don't want to dive in head first. But I do think that one misconception they had about you and about their connection with you was this idea that they had to be the right person for you. They had to be in a different position, or they had to fully be in control of certain factors. Like, for example, the fear of opening their heart up before they could even consider something with you or consider the next step with you. And what they're realizing is that those were the blockages that were in the way. The idea that they thought they had to be something, the idea that they weren't ready, or that they weren't good enough, or that they needed to have control over certain factors. I feel like they're realizing where they don't need to hold on to control, and where in fact they can just soften and be more open. That's going to be a lot more helpful to them. And I feel like they see a lot of potential for rewriting narratives and beliefs around what is possible, and rewriting ideas around what love looks like or what it can be, especially if this person had like a very toxic parental dynamic or has only had toxic examples of love. I feel like they're realizing that they have the power to change the story and they want to. And I think that how that's leading them to feel about you, which they are very mum about. But I think that, like, I don't even know how to word this. They are so sincere when they say that you've given them some of the greatest gifts that anyone could ever give another human being, which is profound awareness that changes them irrevocably and allows them to become a person that maybe they didn't realize they could become. How could they not adore you? You know what I mean? There's a lot of like, of course they would feel that way. Of course they would feel humbled. It would be a lot to process. And I do think that they need a bit of time to process a lot of this awareness. But I think you feel that and you know that because you have that Wheel of Fortune. It's like you can feel things heading in a more positive direction, but you know it's not your place to hurry it along. Like, you know, your person is kind of processing things. And I think you're just feeling that desire to see who they are on the other side of these changes and what you guys are on the other side of these changes, but you're having to, you're stuck in the waiting room essentially, right? But you're not necessarily really waiting, but I do think that your mind is creating like a, yeah, but is that really happening? Maybe not. What, like, it's like you're trying to, you're doing the same thing that this person does, where you're trying to protect yourself from getting hurt by, denying what's right in front of you, by denying evidence, which, like, I would say if you feel into your own situation, you feel this sense of like everything's unfolding in the perfect time, in the perfect way, and things are getting better, and I don't need to overthink this right now. I do just need to focus on what is within my control and like let go. That's the best approach that you can have. But I definitely think that this person, they are getting their feminine aspects into balance, which are the parts of them that are allowed to be emotionally open and receptive, nurturing and soft. They have these qualities within them, and I think they're qualities about you that they admire, even if you're not outwardly like the most, because feminine energy is not the same thing as like femininity in a gendered respect. If you are a very feminine person, I do think that's something I think if you're just a very nurturing, gentle, caring person, that's something that they're very grateful for and something that they find very humbling, I guess. And maybe that's something that they always found disarming about you, is like they didn't understand why you wouldn't just get mad at them or fight with them. Like, you would give them grace and patience even when maybe they didn't deserve it. And I feel like that's something that they're really humbled by now, because they understand that wasn't you people pleasing, or that wasn't you just being like passive aggressive or something. That was you loving them enough to know that, loving them in a way that maybe they didn't quite realize yet, which was being patient and giving them grace. And those are things that maybe they couldn't give themselves. And sure, maybe there was some people pleasing and stuff in it involved, but I think you have been on a journey of recognizing what is healthy interaction and what is unhealthy interaction. And I think you're doing a great job. So we're going to go ahead now and finish off with some guidance for you. So I want to start by asking what it is that you need to know about this situation for your highest good. So what does pile 1 need to know about this situation for their highest good at this time? The Lovers. Yes. Just know that things are balancing out. I actually want to read this from the deck. This is the Lovers card. And I just think it's really sweet, and I think that you'll appreciate it. This card signifies the possibility that a deep spiritual initiation, partnership, or union is taking place at this time or is manifesting for the future. This doesn't always necessarily represent a love affair of the heart, but in this reading it does. But could signify other forms of relationships in your life. Remember, not all partnerships have to be one-on-one. Oh, yeah, okay, we get it. The Harmony card is calling you to let you know it's time to make choices in certain relationships. The bonds you form with others are really about you, even in the most difficult situations. They're meant to be mirrors of you, always reflecting back what you need to see. Ask yourself, what am I learning from this relationship? What new qualities am I developing? Is this partnership for my highest good? How can I make it stronger? What have I discovered that, or I'm still uncovering about myself through this union? Are the people in my life empowering and encouraging me to be all that I can? Within every relationship, there's an encoded lesson that you hopefully gleaned, or in some cases, one that you still need to learn. So I definitely think that you've been doing a lot of the processing here. I think where there's room for you to grow is to look at where you still have negative assumptions about yourself, about your value, or about this person or their ability to show up. Like, it doesn't, like, this person's already going through profound change. They may never know that you think this, but it's not helpful in an energetic sense to be thinking like, oh, you'll never change, you'll never grow. Because whether they're consciously aware of it or not, like, subconsciously we can feel that stuff, you know? And I think it's very powerful when someone who loves us, believes in us, and believes in our ability to change and be different. So you need to believe in the version of this person you know is there, and that you know does exist, over what you're afraid will devolve into, or what you're afraid of. Let go of what you're afraid of and place it. That's not a word. Replace it with the insight of awareness. I feel like for you, looking at where there's a lack of harmony in your own life, you know, with your thoughts and with your beliefs, for example, or with your mind and your heart, making choices to that balance those things out, that honor your truths, and that allow for openness and even uncertainty, I think can be very helpful. But where uncertainty isn't helpful, like, so for example, uncertainty of whether things will work out, certainty of things are working out for your highest good, and if you want to get even crazier with it, certainty that a certain outcome will happen. You are a creator being and you can make it happen. But I feel like what you do need to know is that there's powerful potential here between the two of you. Like, this is such a Lover's card, and there have been a lot of like significant energies here. I do think you and your person are undergoing profound shifts here. So let me ask, like, what guidance there is for you in terms of how to approach this person, or just what's the best way to approach this situation in the near future. So what's the best way for pile 1 to approach this situation in the near future? Root chakra. Yeah. Okay. So you're definitely being encouraged to get grounded and to focus on doing and taking concrete action that cements the new into your life. So for example, let's say you're creating a life with more room for this person in it. Looking at your surroundings and visualizing them in them and saying, okay, well, what's not going to work here? Like, for example, if this person lives in another country and you're manifesting and you guys are trying to get them to where you are and to be living together, is there room in your closet for them? Is there room for all of their stuff? And also, like, how are you living your routine? Is there room for them to be involved in it? Those are all great ways you can consciously create more space for them. But also looking at what habits of yours are keeping you stuck? What's holding you back? I feel like this connection is like a microcosm for a lot of macrocosmic experiences you both are going through individually. Like, you both are undergoing really powerful change right now, and I think Spirit really wants you to be focused on the tangible, the physical, the material, and being grounded in your own body, in your own life, and focusing on that. Like, even though you have a spiritual connection with this person, don't be focused on the spiritual components. Spirit's got that. Be focused on like okay, there's me and this person. Are we interacting? Are we not? Does that feel right? Does that feel not? Actions speak louder than words is something that I'm hearing as well. So just pay attention to what actions are supportive and helpful for creating more harmony internally and externally, and just focus on what within your world might create disharmony. And one thing that I'm hearing is that things that are seemingly completely unrelated to the situation and this person, taking action towards them could actually have profound shifts between you and this person. So like, for example, maybe there's a big project you've been ignoring. Like maybe the back shed is full of stuff and needs to be cleared out. Well, maybe the shed doesn't on paper have anything to do with you and your person, but maybe that shed takes up like 30% of your mental energy every day. And it's always something that's gnawing at you. Like, hey, we got to deal with the back shed. Okay, we'll do it later. So it weighs on you and it weighs on you. Well, you finally do it. Not only do you feel a sense of accomplishment and freedom of like, oh, we got that done, but now you've just freed up so much brain space that could be spent using like looking at solutions or looking at things in different ways, or just helping you feel more centered in a life that is more aligned with you, that's more aligned with the life that you want, rather than the life that you feel is constricting to you. I definitely think in general, like focusing on caring for your body, caring for your space, caring for your environment, all of that's going to be really helpful for you. Caring for your mind and your physicality. If you can approach things from that place, that's really helpful. And like, for example, if you want to know something, like reach out to this person. Don't try to get a reading on what's going on, because that's going to keep you stuck relying on them. And I feel like one thing Spirit wants is to just open up more direct interaction between the two of you, and just making things more real on a physical dimension level. So like, for example, if you've been in a relationship with this person and there are times where you need to where you're unsure of something or you're feeling insecure, and your response is to hold it in and not do anything about it, or to pull cards, or to just let it go, you know, Spirit might bring those things to the forefront and say, okay, well, let's get it out there. Let's find a way to talk about this so that it doesn't have to be a part of our reality anymore. I just definitely think there's a lot of encouragement for you to focus on the tangible, what you can see, what's right in front of you, and how being grounded changes your ability to respond, your ability to see all possibilities, and your ability to take empowered action and know when the most empowered action is to just surrender and do your own thing. What does pile number 1 need to know when it comes to this person? How might this person be showing up in the near future? Or what do they need to know about what they can expect from this person in the near future? Okay, yeah, so they're definitely going to take some time to go within. You'll likely know that, or they'll tell you that. Unless you guys are not, like, if you guys are in a relationship, you're going to know this, and you guys are going to kind of have a period where your person is just going in more and needing more time. They might literally be sleeping more. If you're not in a relationship with this person, they might, I wouldn't say they would like ghost or anything like that, but they're going to be less available. They're going to be processing things and having powerful dreams. And I feel like in the meantime, they're going to be trying to get their world together. I would be willing to bet you both have areas of your life where you just kind of need to get your world together a little bit more. But the time in which you're not interacting is a powerful time and a powerful opportunity for both of you to do some things on an individual level that will help you connect more when you do come together. But now that we've seen that, I do just want some guidance for pile 1 in terms of, I want to know if there is a blockage that you can release. So is there a blockage between pile 1 and their person that pile 1 could release? If so, how could they release this? Okay, so this is strength. So this is really about knowing when it's important to surrender and when it's important to take action. Sometimes you will just need to surrender and just let things happen and be patient, and other times it will be beneficial to take action. Whatever you choose in that moment is not wrong. And you will start to learn whether it's more beneficial for you to say or do something than to not do something. But there's also a message in this power card about not giving your power away in terms of, oh, I'm not going to take this action because maybe they won't, oh, I'm not going to reach out to this person because maybe they won't respond to me. Well, your power says, I don't care whether they respond to me or not. I need to say this, and so I'm going to get it out there. I'm not reaching out to them because I want a response. I'm reaching out to them because I'm having this authentic experience and I want to share it with them. Another thing would be, like, for example, if you know that this person's going to be gone for a week and there's not much you can do there, okay, well, what could I maybe do in this week that I typically wouldn't be able to because they're not around? There's really just guidance for you to look at where maybe you have believed that there's no room for change, or no room for you to take action. And maybe the only reason it felt like there was no room for you to take action because you were just afraid of the result, or just afraid of what would happen, or afraid that if you let go of control that everything would fail. But there's clearly a higher power helping the both of you. And I feel like this higher power is helping you know what is the most aligned action at the right time. It's only your conscious mind that doubts it. So I feel like, honestly, the best advice that I can give you and that these cards are trying to give you is that you can trust yourself. You're more powerful than you realize. And I think it's a lot less about what you do exactly and more what your intentions behind doing the thing are in the first place, and what fears are barriers to taking that action if it feels aligned. So there's a barrier of, I don't want to ask this person to do this thing because what if they don't like it, or what if they say no? That's literally the worst thing that happens, and then you get your answer. There's a real need for you to recognize you can handle more than you think, and that you're not as trapped as you think you are. It's just a matter of learning to train your brain to see different opportunities and different options that maybe you didn't before, because they're just not part of a system of habit yet. I don't know if that makes sense. But I'm going to pull just one last guidance card because I feel really called to. So is there anything else you want pile 1 to know when it comes to this situation? Yeah, with the 5 of Pentacles, obstacles and challenges, you're really being encouraged to recognize what obstacles and challenges are not actually there if you're not trying to control the outcome or not trying to protect yourself from a result you don't want. But also, when it comes to obstacles and challenges, do you continue to believe that they're always going to be there in the future? Do you take time to reflect on the obstacles and challenges you've already overcome and how much you've changed? I feel like with this 5 of Pentacles, there's kind of a seeing the glass half empty perspective, especially when it comes to this situation with this person. And you might be ready to be like, but Asa, like, I've only had glass half empty experiences with this person. Well, maybe it's time to start seeing things half full, and maybe believe that things can be half full, and maybe you can get a full glass. You don't even have to have a half empty or half full glass. I feel like there is a subconscious belief, though, that things just can't be easy for you, or that things just can't work out for you, and that's not true. That gives your power away. And that also doesn't allow you to really challenge the universe in terms of how it can work its magic for you. Trust that if there are obstacles or challenges that are legitimate and that are truly in your way, you will be shown how to handle them. You can handle them. And if there are obstacles and challenges that have nothing to do with you, that are, your person's thing to deal with, you can trust that they will move through them and that you don't have to figure it out for them. And it's not your job to figure it out for them. I think that things are actually far more aligned than you realize. And with intuition being on the back of the deck, we also have the Ankh here, and the Ankh has already come out. I think he came out in the Emperor card. You are protected, and you just don't even realize how. I bet a lot of the things I've already said align with what you felt. You just couldn't trust it yet. So it's time to start trusting it. And it's also time to start challenging yourself to, if you don't see a way around an obstacle, what's the way through it? What's the way under it? What's the way over it? If you only see 2 pathways, forge a third. Like, you have more creativity and more opportunities here than you realize. And I think this has less to do with your person and more to do with how you go about your life in general. Like, this reading came through, and this person and this connection is clearly a significant part of your life. But what it's doing right now is clearly mirroring to you where the past needs to stay in the past, where you don't need to uphold certain patterns anymore, and where you can just fully embrace ease and grace and the beautiful things, the harmonious elements of life and love that are there and that exist for everyone. You're ready to start accepting those and claiming those more. And that starts with feeling like you're deserving of it. And that starts with trusting yourself and trusting with where you're going. You really don't need to overthink things. And I feel like that's why I'm having a hard time ending this reading, is because I'm like, yeah, but there's so many other components and there's so much going on, and none of that matters. What truly matters is, are you honoring your heart? Are you listening to yourself? Are you in alignment with your own integrity? If the answer to those is yes, you're doing better than you think, and you don't need to overthink it. Just keep moving forward. But yeah, pile 1, everything's going to be okay here. You can trust yourself. Start trusting yourself more. And in fact, I would start tracking your own intuitive insights, because you might find that you forget that you felt things intuitively and they take you by surprise, when in reality you called them, you just forgot that you called them. So pile 1, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. I'm going to go ahead and move over to the extended now. If you'd like to join me there, that will be linked down below. But if you're leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel. So thank you to everyone who does that. If you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, you can let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ASO10. You can check out the extended, of course. But I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading resonated. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Mangano Calcite Heart and the Carrot Tarts Tarot cards, this is going to be your reading on how is the person you're asking about currently feeling about you. So you're going to be on the left, the person you're asking about is going to be on the right, and the energies between the two of you are going to be in the middle. Full breakdown of the reading in the intro if you're interested. If the you part does not resonate, I would try a different group and see if you can find you first, because if you're on the other side, then you're going to be hearing an in-depth explanation of your feelings, not your person's. And if you find that there's mirroring, there's nothing wrong with that. Just take it as it resonates. So, and by mirroring, I just mean you see yourself in both groups. That doesn't mean it's about you. It just means that you and this person, it could be, but it's meant to mean that there's similarities between you and this person. So starting with your energy and feelings towards this person, we have the moon. We have honesty. I can't expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And you are meant to be. In terms of your person's feelings and energy towards you, we have the 6 of Pentacles. We have worry. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. And we have I am afraid I will hurt you. And then as for the connecting energies, so these are the energies you're both experiencing. We have the feminine and we have connection. The frequency of connection supports our ability to find alignment and resonance with others, things, and ideas. Let me just make sure. Yep. Okay. So I can see why you're here, pile 2. Welcome. I don't blame you even. I can tell you have really no clue what's going on. You probably don't really trust yourself to know what's going on at this time. But there is a part of you that I do want to say you're probably not giving yourself credit for. You are particularly surrendered about this person in this situation. And what I mean by surrendered is you're not trying to control the situation, and it doesn't seem like you're trying to even figure things out. It just seems like you would love clarity if you have it. And maybe you came to this reading asking about someone else and this person is coming through. If you've been dreaming about this person, I definitely think that that is highlighted here. The fact that we have you are meant to be, you may not know what role this person has in your life, but you know that there is some significance. There is some reason why they are in your heart and why they are in, or if not your heart, your mind, your energy, your presence. And I think if you're being honest with yourself, you have no clue what that reason is. Maybe you thought you did, maybe you changed your mind, or maybe you have really strong convictions about why this connection is here and why this person is here, and you know what that truth is, but you don't know how that's going to unfold or what's going to happen. I can definitely see you being completely unsure of what's going on, and even actually trying to just leave it be and do your own thing. I feel like you're doing your best to not even focus on the connection or on this person. You might actively be avoiding anything or anywhere where you could interact with them, or things that could remind you of them. But I feel like you're done fighting yourself about the fact that you feel a connection to this person, the fact that you have feelings for this person, even though you don't even quite know the depth of them, why they're there. And I do feel like you are very uncertain of your person in terms of like, can I trust this person? Are they being sincere? Am I delusional? Am I crazy? Like, do I just feel this and they don't feel anything and I'm just projecting something? But I will definitely say you're not delusional. I mean, you're here for a reason and we'll get into it, but I can definitely see you have no clue what's going on. I definitely think you are a bit fearful. And you'd be absolutely right to not really take action right now because you don't really have clarity and you don't really know what to do. Things are not as they seem right now. And I would be willing to bet if this is the right reading for you, you and this person are not interacting much right now, or they're not interacting much, and so you're not pushing them to. It definitely seems like you're kind of avoiding, or if not avoiding, just like not worrying, trying not to think about this situation, but maybe it comes up at night when you have time to think, when you have time to be in your mind. I do feel like you are resolute about the fact that there is some sort of, like, there is a reason why this person was put in your life. There is a reason why this connection is here. But you also recognize it takes two to tango, and that you can't expect this person to be honest with you. You can only be honest with yourself. You can't expect, I feel like really the only thing you're trusting right now is yourself, and trusting the fact that it's okay to not know what's going on or where things are headed or what is happening. The fact that we have the feminine and connection, both of you feel this connection. Let me just be clear. Your person does too. So you're not crazy about feeling that. They feel that as well. And both of you are dealing with a lot of fear. The fact that we have the feminine here, I definitely think that both of you are taking time to kind of process and be with yourselves. You're in more of a shadowy phase of your connection, where shadow doesn't mean bad. It's just there's a lot that isn't seen right now, but there's a lot of opportunity for seeds to be planted, both as individuals and together. And there is opportunity to be creative and to connect more. Like, this kind of seems to be a time where you guys are having your own experiences and reflecting more than you are engaging with one another. And even if you're talking to each other every single day, it seems like maybe the amount you're talking is less frequent, or at the very least there is some sort of dynamic happening right now where you're just not engaging with each other as much. You both could be sleeping more, you both could just be having more on your plates as individuals. The connection itself definitely seems like it's not in front of your face and you're not like engaging with it in the physical all the time, but I do think you can both feel it energetically. And I think that it's sort of there in the background, but you can kind of ignore it until there's no more priorities, or the day is over, or when you go within. If you meditate or anything like that, I would say the connection is very present there. It's like you might not be interacting with each other very much, but at the very least the connection, like you're having a lot of interaction connection wise, and you are experiencing a lot energetically, even if you're not experiencing much physically between the two of you. Now with your person, I can definitely see here that they feel conflicted. I feel like they're definitely holding back with you, and I think that you're not wrong in sensing that. The fact that we have worry and I'm afraid, I definitely think that they are overthinking this situation a lot. And with the Six of Pentacles here, I think they are torn between a desire to give more and to engage more in this connection, but then also a fear of, what if I'm not enough? What if I can't give enough? What if I disappoint? Pile 2. I definitely think that they're very worried about what to do in this situation. We're definitely going to have to dive deeper here, but I definitely think that they care about you. They don't want to hurt you, but they also, like, I feel like they feel torn between engaging in this connection and, these are their words, fucking up and hurting you, or holding back and missing out on closeness with you. It's like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place where they can't be as they were and have the type of connection they want with you. Like they have to step up more if if they are going to engage with you in that way. And I wonder if they either don't have the resources or they're worried they're not up to the task or they're not capable. They definitely really care about you and they feel that you deserve the best, though I'm unsure if that is reaching a point where they're just putting you on a pedestal and allowing their insecurities to let them stay in their comfort zone, or if they genuinely want to give you more and believe you deserve more. They just don't have the energy, time, and resources to do that right now, and they don't want to hurt you. Because I feel like more than anything, them not engaging in the connection is not a rejection of you, and not a, oh, I'm not into pile 2. It's definitely a I'm not able to contribute to this in a way that I would feel like is balanced and aligned, and so that seems easier. So let's go deeper into this, because there's definitely a lot that they are trying to figure out, and I don't blame you for being completely uncertain of what's going on, because I feel like actually one thing I will commend you on, pile 2, is you're doing a great job of not letting the fear energy get the best of you. I feel like you're kind of not really allowing yourself to explore it. A lot of the fear, like if you feel fearful about this connection and you don't even understand why, it's probably because you're picking up on this person's fear. So let me shuffle these a little bit more. And while I'm shuffling, if you are interested, we are going to have an extended link down below where we're going to look at what makes you irresistible to this person. We're going to look specifically at your body, at your mind, at your heart, at your spirit. We're also going to do some 18+ stuff. We're going to look at what it is like to be intimate with you, or if they haven't, what do they think it'll be like. We're going to look at what their hidden desires are when it comes to you. We're also going to look at how they would react to knowing some of your hidden desires, and what can you do to make these desires a reality. So if you're interested, that'll be linked down below. Thank you to everyone who comes and supports me over there. We have a lot of fun over there. But if you are just here for the free reading, thank you to everyone who just leaves a like or a little comment, a subscribble, and lets the ads play. Those are all free ways to show appreciation and exchange energy with me. So thank you to everyone who does that. I really appreciate it. But let's get back into the reading. Pile 2's person. So what is pile 2's person's energy, feelings, thoughts, perceptions? What are they processing right now when it comes to their connection with pile 2? How do they feel about pile 2? 4 of Swords. How do they feel about pile 2? What is their 9 of Swords? Okay, if you pulled your energy back recently, or if you've been less communicative, they've definitely noticed that, and that has made them overthink even more. Let's keep going though. Okay. We have the Ace of, these came out all 3 together. The Ace of Cups, the 9 of Wands, and the 4 of Wands. So I'm going to kind of hold them like that. What are their feelings and energies towards pile 2? Did I call you pile 1? I meant pile 2. I apologize. And I guess to kind of just, I'm going to move these over and get a more concrete answer, but what do they, what is their biggest insecurity holding them back? What is the biggest insecurity? Yeah, okay. All right, okay, that makes sense. So I'm gonna start with this insecurity that's holding them back. This person is definitely someone who has not been in a relationship in a really, really, really long time, or has never been in one before, or has never been in one that required so much authenticity and intimacy. There's no hiding when it comes to you, and this person is more of an introvert. Even if they're very outgoing, like you can be outgoing and be an introvert. Introversion and extroversion is just, do you get energy from interacting with people, or do you get drained from being around a lot a lot of noise, a lot of stuff going on. They definitely like feel like you've come into their life before they were ready. It's like right person, wrong time. But the thing is that they don't understand what is real timing and what isn't. Like, they think they're not ready, but also they've been very isolated from life in a way that has allowed them to lose sight of how much time, energy, resources, what's required of a situation. They definitely don't feel safe connected to other people, because not only have they been hurt by that in the past, but they also feel like they could have some sort of an ego identity around being alone. But I feel like that pull to be alone is becoming harder and harder. And I think there's something about the connection with you where it's like part of what they're torn about is like, there's nothing wrong with pile 2. It's all what's wrong with me. And am I ready? And can I do that? Because I don't want to mess that up with pile 2. They definitely thought that they would be older before they met you, or they would be in a different place, or they'd be wiser. The fact that we have the Emperor here as well, this person is a bit of a control freak. And I think in your case, like, they're trying to control the situation, or they feel like they need to be the best version of themselves before they can enter a situation with you. But the problem is that, number one, that's not true. That's what's true to them. But what's happening on a more universal level is they are realizing not only can they not control this, but the way that they idealize and believe that they need to be in order to be worthy and give you enough, none of that is rooted in truth. All of that is rooted in expectations and beliefs that they have. And because they are not in that position, but they're still holding on to it, and the universe is pushing them in different ways. The universe is pushing them in ways where they're really needing to look at their own inner world and be like, why are you still cultivating these beliefs? Because pile number 2 has done nothing to indicate that they require these things or that they want these things. Like, when it comes to how this person feels about you, I mean, the Ace of Cups and the Four of Wands really speak to it. They have feelings for you. Like, they could see, I would say, I would be shocked if you're already in a relationship with this person. I don't think that's the case, but I definitely think, like, romantic feelings, like butterflies, like, those are there. They could even feel like, I think I love pile 2, or I know I will fall in love with pile 2 if I continue to be open to this. And, like, also with the Four of Wands here, the Four of Wands can also talk about marriage. So they could see you as like the one, or potentially the one. And that is terrifying because they don't feel ready for anything like that yet. I mean, the fact that we have the Nine of Wands in between the two of them, it's like they might be thinking, I'm hearing that phrase, like, first comes love, then comes marriage, like that old, pile 2 in their person sitting in a tree, Kissing. I don't remember all of it. But it's like they are having a hard time recognizing that you're not gonna, like, go on a date and then elope tomorrow. Like, it's almost like they feel like once they open this door, if they don't do everything perfectly, then they could miss out on the future that they might idealize with you, or could miss out on, they could mess things up and lose you for good. And so it's almost like they are, but they also don't want you to think that they're not interested in you, because they are, and they do desire you. And they fully recognize that it's, like, not fair what they're doing. And so I think they're honestly trying to figure out what it is that they should do. And right now they don't know. They know that they have feelings for you. They know that they see a future with you, but they also know that that future is something that they don't feel ready for. And they don't know if they can give you what you deserve quite yet. And that is keeping them up at night, honestly. And the fact that you seem to have pulled your energy back, that is something that they're not only aware of, but really insecure about. They're like, oh, maybe they found someone else. Maybe I wasn't good enough in the first place. Like, they're definitely using it to enable themselves a little bit, which is kind of disappointing. But with this Nine of Swords, they are really unable to find solutions or see what the universe is trying to show them, because their waking moments are almost oppressed by their fears when it comes to this connection, because they really care about what you think of them. They really care about being the best person for you. It's like they don't want to be involved with you unless they can be the best version of themselves. And what they're not really seeing is the fact that they're already good enough, and that they don't have to be perfect in order for you to come together. Like, y'all can grow together. But they're not really seeing that. They're not seeing very clearly right now. Like, neither of you are seeing very clearly. And I would be willing to bet, in fact, that the universe has kind of intentionally obscured your perceptive abilities when it comes to this person. Because if truth be told, if what I'm telling you is upsetting you and triggering you, it's probably like the universe probably didn't want you to see these things, because they wouldn't want you to take it personally. And I'm here to reiterate that you shouldn't take this personally. And if you are, I understand. But it literally has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with how they feel about themselves, not disappointing you, because they hold you in very high esteem, almost maybe too high. Not that you're not wonderful, but that they might be putting you on a pedestal and also devaluing and demeaning themselves in the process, and creating an imbalanced dynamic that is not helpful for connection. What you're doing that's really great is you're valuing yourself and not attaching to it too much. That's what you should continue doing. But part of the reason why you may not be picking up on some of that energy is because it could just be hurtful and create unnecessary insecurity within you. And this is transient. This time will pass. But right now, I think there's a lot happening where the universe is trying to get your person to, they're pushing your person, and they're pushing your person in a way where they're needing to see where they're delusional, and where their desires and where their heart's desires and their future can actually align sooner than they think, where they can have more than they thought they could sooner than they thought, if they just let go of the idea of how they think they need to go about things. They see a lot of potential here. But right now they have this idea that they need to be in control of what happens in order to be safe. Because if they can't control themselves, if they can't control circumstances, then they might hurt you, then they might mess things up, then they might lose you, and that would be even worse than anything. It's like they are worried about bridges burning that haven't even been built. Like, the blueprints haven't even come off the printer yet. And so they're really not able to take much constructive action or have constructive thought, because they're doing a lot of internal processing around this situation. But what I will say is that this is transient. This will pass, and this person is smart. I believe in them, and I believe in their ability to see more clearly. We'll look into guidance and see kind of what you need to know about it, but I do think that they are taking time to reflect, and I think that this is a very necessary time for the both of you, where you can really ask yourself, what am I willing to put up with? Where are my boundaries? And where do I need to speak my truth with this person, or maybe not at all? And where do I need to just let go of the need to know? Or, maybe you're, like I said, you're not focused on the situation and you wonder why this person came through. Maybe the reason you're feeling their energy so much is because they're trying to process all of this information, all of these feelings that they have. I do feel like you are a mirror for them to see where they're afraid of how good life can be and how happy they can be and how wonderful it can be to be connected to someone else. I think that they have been on their own for so long that they've forgotten that connection is important and powerful, and this connection is creating a lack of control within them that's really unnerving. And they feel like if they can't control themselves, then how are they going to be able to, this is so Twilight coded, like your person is so Edward Cullen right now, being like, I can't stay away, but you can't come near me. This is the skin of a killer, Bella. But they're not a killer. They just maybe have issues communicating and have insecurities. Buddy, things could be worse. You could be a 100-year-old virgin that's preying on teenagers. I don't think they're in that situation, so they're better off already, right? I just definitely think they're not able to think clearly about this situation. Like, they have feelings for you and they know that. They just don't know what to do about that. And they're trying to figure it out. And also, I will say it's unfair for them to be worried about hurting you, because number one, you can protect yourself. And number two, I think that this person is just afraid of circumstances outside of their control. Like, for example, let's say you guys start dating and then their job gets really busy and then they're unable to see you, and then you think that they just don't want to see you and they're lying to you, and really they do want to see you. Like, they're not even realizing that, oh, that was an issue in an old relationship because that person had trust issues that had nothing to do with me. The universe is really right now helping them deconstruct beliefs that they have, and what's happening is your connection is kind of, it's the catalyst for this, where they're having to really start seeing things more realistically and let go of control and let go of, understand the difference between intuition and fear. They're listening to fear right now, not their intuition. But the idea of this kind of time of lull is to help this person gather their bearings and figure out what are their priorities and what do they want. And now whatever you do is up to you. It's just important that you're honest with yourself and you not hold yourself back, or there's no need to wait for anything. You just need to do you. But we're going to go ahead and get into guidance now and just kind of see what you need to know about this situation. One thing I will say is that this situation will not last forever. And I would say, like, trust your intuition about what you think is going to happen. I think the biggest thing that you can trust is that this cycle won't last forever. And how it unfolds, I think, is differently for all of you. But it is really heavily dependent right now on how this person processes things and what they end up choosing to do. Because all of the cards that came through, there was only one Earth card that came through, and that was in the Hermit and the Six of Pentacles. So they are processing and thinking and engaging with the energy of this connection more than you realize, which is why you're picking up on them, which is why you're dreaming of them and things like that. Even though you might not be seeing much in the physical world, that's because a lot of the work is happening in the inner worlds and the etheric realms. But I do think all of this work is happening to make their behavior more clear and true and authentic in the physical world once they've done the processing that they need to, so that they can shed and release. Because, like, I feel like in a way they're almost infantilizing you, where they're like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt them, I don't want to. But it's like, pile 2 is an adult. They're like, they can handle things. Like, they don't need to be protected from anything. And I feel like, yeah, your person is definitely needing to recognize what true empowerment and control actually looks like. And I think Spirit is showing them that. But I think you represent their desires and their happiness. So I think something's going to be interesting. Their desires and their happiness and what they truly want. And they don't know if they're deserving of what they truly want. There's nothing scarier than getting what you truly want and realizing, oh, this doesn't solve all my problems. Oh, I'm not, like, complete. I've still got work to do. Like, they are needing to, like, they are not realizing, they're not seeing the situation clearly. So I can see why they wouldn't be taking action towards you right now. So let's go ahead and see what guidance Spirit has for you when it comes to this person and situation. So Spirit, what guidance do you have for pile 2 when it comes to this person and this situation? People's favorite words. So yeah, when it comes to the situation, you're really just being encouraged to stay balanced and do what's right for you, what's in alignment with you. You don't owe this person anything. If you have other offers or other opportunities or want to explore other things, you have every right and every reason to do so. You shouldn't feel bad about that. But if your heart only has room for this person right now, and you know that there's not a whole lot that you could do, then just focus on staying balanced in your own world and just be patient, because it is going to require patience with this person. They do need time to process and kind of climb their own inner mountains so that they can get a clearer picture. But I do think things are ascending, and I do think that this is a valuable time for you to focus on, outside of this person, what are you trying to create? How are you trying to grow as a person? What is really important to you? Because all of that stuff, I think, is just going to feed positive growth energy towards this person, because you guys are already engaging energetically. Like, you don't have to be interacting physically in order to engage energetically. Like, that's happening right now. So you finding balance in your own world, finding clarity on what's important to you in your own world, will help this person, whether you realize it or not. But yeah, this is going to take some time, and I don't think that this person is going to turn around like tomorrow and have all the answers. In fact, it might take some time for them to have the answers, but what is the deeper purpose of this time period between pile 2 and their person? What is meant to come from this? How will they know that? How are they meant to utilize this time? Yeah, I mean, this is getting in touch with your own intuition, with yourself. And if you can't get in touch with your intuition, then that means just letting things be a secret and learning to accept the discomfort of that, or learning to be okay in not knowing. I definitely think that this is a time of building trust in yourself and trust in what you can't see and what you can't know. And the same for your person. I think that this person needs to learn to trust themselves more, and to also realize that they cut off so many opportunities for growth and connection and enjoyable things in their life because they have this linear, rigid idea of how they think they need to do things. So I guess I should ask what you can expect from this person, or what you, like, at least in the near future, what you can expect, or what you should know about how they'll show up. So what can pile 2 expect in the near future from this person? How might this person show up? The moon again. So once again, I do feel like they're going to be showing up a lot more energetically. I do feel like if you interact with them, they're going to come around at night. They might reach out to you while you're sleeping or things like that, and then they might be less available. But I definitely think if it's deliberately challenging for you to interact with them during this time, there's a reason for it. There's a lot of growth that you both are undergoing, and I think that sometimes the universe knows what it's doing. If there is a lull where you guys are not interacting, like, well, there is a lull. I do think that this lull will be continuing in the near future, but it's not forever. And I know that's kind of frustrating to hear, but the resolution that you are looking for in this situation can't happen if your person doesn't have an internal resolution about the situation in the first place. Like, you're just going to be running in the same circle over and over again and just wasting precious energy. So I guess I just want to ask then, what does pile 2 need to know about the truth of this person's feelings for them? What do they need to know truly exists and is truly there, even if they don't have evidence for it? That things will improve and that things will get better. Yeah, I actually think we have rest and rejuvenation on the bottom of the deck, and then we have the 6 of Pentacles again. So I think things are actually going to move so much faster after this period of time. And that, in fact, like, once you have moved through this period of time, I think that things are going to move forward quite quickly. And and I'm not saying this will, but there is a potential, because this is a general reading, if this person comes to the conclusion that they cannot be what you need, that they can't show up in this situation, if that decision is made, the universe is going to move you swiftly and easily to someone who can support you in your needs and be aligned with you. And it's going to happen so quickly and so effortlessly that you're not going to do anything. You're not even going to realize it. And you're going to be fully in this situation and think, I wonder what happened to pile 2. And then think, guess they couldn't step up. And it's going to be so easy for you to let go of that you're just like, oh, it is what it is. I'm really happy now. Or this person is going to realize that they can step up, that they do want to step up, that they do want to move things forward with you, and they're going to start happening really fast. And so there's definitely going to be, it's going to be kind of like whiplash. It's going to be like all of a sudden they're in your world showing up a lot when they weren't around for a little while. But what you do need to know is that things are, even though they don't feel like they're moving, even though it seems like they're stagnant, there's actually a lot happening internally that will allow for a lot of rapid movement externally once that is moved through. So it's like the example that I'm thinking of is like if a drain is clogged, you know, it's like you guys are we'll be talking about unclogging drains in a minute in the extended, but it's almost like in order for things to flow more quickly and easily, a lot of internal barriers and a lot of things that could create less movement are being sifted and released right now. And I think for this person, there's this energy from the universe where they're like, you need to get your shit figured out. You need to decide. You need to reach. You need to get clear on this, so that, you know, you and pile 2 can really start moving things forward, or pile 2 can work with who is willing to work with them, love who is willing to be in love with them, vice versa. Because I do feel like this person has feelings for you, but it's not about having, like, they have feelings for you, period. If you came to this reading, like, this person has feelings for you, this person really cares about you, and they really care about what you think of them. But and it's not about those feelings. Those feelings exist regardless, but it's about, do they love themselves enough? Are they brave enough to face what they are afraid of, or be willing to come up short or disappoint themselves or disappoint you in the pursuit of what they truly want, which is more closeness with you? They don't know if they want that closeness yet. They desire it in their heart, but their fear says no, closeness means pain. No, closeness means I can't control things. And so they have to go through that process themselves, and that it sucks that you're in the position where you're just like, yeah, this is kind of out of your wheelhouse and kind of out of your control, but you're doing a great job at focusing on what is within your control. And I think you're staying true to yourself, and that's really all you need to do. And I feel like if you know that this person is going to come through and come around, they just need time to work on it, trust that, because it's going to move really fast after that. And when this person is ready, it will be clear as day. The moon will be gone and the sun will be up. And if this situation doesn't pan out the way that you were hoping it to, if this person doesn't step up, when that decision is made, you're not even going to realize it. You're not even going to be thinking about it. You're going to realize it in hindsight after a whirlwind of exciting things happened for you. So I also think that if you decide you want to walk away from this situation fully now, you might still pick up on this person's energy, but I think things would move faster for you as well. So if you're not attached to this person, but you're like, I just want to have an experience of a loving relationship, for example, and I'm tired of waiting, then you can really say that, like, I'm not leaving my heart only for this person. I'm opening up. Okay, universe, if you have someone else that could fill this spot, I bet you would find that could happen a lot quicker than you realize. But I do think that there is an element of the universe almost carrying you both. Like, if this situation doesn't work out the way you hoped it to, it will not hurt once you realize that, because you'll be in a situation that makes you so happy and that you've been so engrossed in. You're like, oh yeah. You might be like, oh well, and you'll move forward. So, and if they're coming forward, you'll absolutely know. But more than anything, if you don't know what to do, trust your heart, not your mind. Your mind will want to throw a tantrum and let go and push away all the time, and then change its mind and want to go running back and want to do everything differently. Your heart knows when it's ready to release something. And if your heart is not ready to release it, that's absolutely okay. And trust that if you're truly meant to walk away from the situation and let it go fully, your heart will have no qualms in that, and it will be an effortless process. And if there's a reason why your heart is still hanging on, then maybe there's a reason for it. And I think that there's a lot more that that could be revealing itself sooner than you think. It might take a long time in human terms, but it could just be a matter of a few months of this person just processing and needing to have the experiences necessary in order to be able to show up more, just know what they want and follow it with conviction. Because when this person does follow something with conviction, you can trust that they will show up and move things forward. So pile 2, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. If you'd like to join me over in the spicy extended, feel free to do that. That'll be linked down below. But if you are leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel, so thank you to everyone who does that. If you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ISO10 for 10% off. You can check out my other videos. But yeah, that's all I have. So thank you guys so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading brought you more clarity or more comfort or made more sense. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Lapis Lazuli Heart and the Dark Heart Tarot by Vanessa Samina, this is going to be your reading on how is the person you're asking about currently feeling about you. So we're going to start with the energy check, and you are going to be on the left. The person you're asking about is going to be on the right. If the you portion does not resonate, I would try a different group. Otherwise, because if you find yourself on the other side, you might be hearing about yourself. If you find yourself on both sides, and that's likely indicative of mirroring and you found the right pile. Obviously, if it doesn't resonate, pick another group. Full breakdown of the reading in the intro. So we're going to go ahead and start by looking at your overall energy towards this person and this connection at this time. So for that, we have the 4 of Wands. We have you are the yin to my yang. And we have patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. And then the person you're asking about, we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. We have surrender. I can release my need to control. We have trying to figure you out, and I need some time to myself. And then these cards represent the energies between the two of you. And for that, we have deep breathing and authority. Okay, let me make sure everything's in here. Yes, it is. Okay. Wow. This is a very, very unique situation. So bear with me while I kind of piece it together and figure it out. You are solid, dude. Like, I just have to say, with your energy, you are so sure about this person and in such a resolved place about it. Even with the yellow being here, I feel like you're in a situation with this person where in the past this may have really bothered you or made you feel insecure, but at this point you've either seen what you needed to see. Like when those situations bothered you, when you felt insecure or upset, you've seen what you needed to see in order to heal and resolve those things, so that when they do resurface, they're minor problems that are easy to release. I definitely feel like you feel quite intensely towards this person. If you're not already in a relationship with them, then I can see that you want to be in a relationship with them. It's likely that you've told this person you want to be in a relationship with them, or you see them as your ideal long-term partner. If you're already in a relationship with them, it seems like you see them as the one and you want to take things further. And if you are not in any sort of romantic situation with them right now, I can see that you really picture that. And I would be willing to bet that your heart's really set on this person. Like, you don't really have anyone else in mind, anyone else that you have feelings for. I feel like your mind, your heart, your spirit, your body are all set on this person. And I feel like that is maybe leading to some challenges, or has led to some challenges, and we'll kind of get into it. But I feel like the challenges that have been presented to you with this person, you've moved through them with flying colors. And in fact, as you've moved through them, you've only become more certain of, yeah, this is the person that I want to be with. This is the person that my heart keeps calling me to. So let's talk about them, because you may need to use some discernment, because I am getting a couple of different energies here, and I think it's really going to heavily depend how intense this energy is based on your situation. Because it is a general reading, there's kind of a gradient of what's going on here, and it's going to be kind of up to you to know, like, okay, they're this one or they're that one, or if you don't know, that's okay. You can always ask, like, to get a sign or a feeling to know if they are this person, because for some of you, you may not even be communicating with this person. You may not even know why you're so sure about them, but at the very least, I would say that even if you're not communicating with them right now, like, you have communicated with them, and there is like a history here, or if not a history, then at the very least enough interaction to where you and this person have established a flirtatious vibe, or this person knows that you are interested in them. I can definitely see here, like, I just heard the words, why me? Like, with this person, with this Five of Cups in reverse, they are definitely, they haven't been in a good place, and I'm sure you know that. And how this is manifesting for them could be very different. For some of you, this person is kind of in the throes of a pit that they have yet to get out. Like, they're having a hard time letting go of the past. They're having a hard time letting go of pain, disappointment. They could be dealing with grief, or they could be avoidant of experiencing grief again. For others of you, this person seems to be coming out of a particularly dark period of their life where they're trying to see hope again, but they're not necessarily feeling it. This honestly reminds me too of like someone recovering from depression or something like that, and just really having trouble seeing the good in things, seeing the good in themselves, seeing the things that basically depression makes you blind to when you have it. It doesn't necessarily have to like be full-blown depression, but at the very least, like, I do think that this person has been in a depressive episode that they could be coming out of. Obviously, I can't diagnose anything. It's not my job, but I do think at the very least they've been going through, like, emotionally a really difficult time, and this connection has really exacerbated it. I definitely feel like right now, when it comes to you and this connection, they are needing a bit of space, and they've either communicated that to you, or they've taken that space, and you might be kind of curious, like, what's really going on? Because I can see for both of you that this connection is challenging you both, and it's kind of interesting because you seem to be in polar opposite energies. Like, this gives me very much light, and this gives me shadow. Your side is very much in the light, their side is very much in the shadow, but that's not a judgment call of like good or bad. That's just you're very clear, you're very aware, and like you've kind of transmuted a lot of shadow that existed in this connection, and within yourself. The light of the connection showed you what shadows you needed to see about yourself, and if not this connection specifically, then past connections. And you're in a really healthy place, honestly. And I feel like you kind of understand that this person needs space and they need time, even though that might be painful or frustrating or hurtful. I feel like you're very resolved about it. You're like very accepting of it. And when there are times where you feel overwhelmed or frustrated or wish things were different, or that things could move faster, or that, things were in a different place, I feel like you recognize the need for patience, and also to recognize, like, I feel like you just honor how in it your heart is. And for your person, I can definitely see here that there's this really strong energy of why me? Like, they don't really understand your persistence, and I can definitely see here that they feel guilty that they're not able to be lighter, to be who they think they should be right now. I feel like they don't even really understand your interest in them. And I feel like they know that they're working through some heavy energy. But despite being alone, I do think that the energy of the connection that you guys share is impacting them. I do think it is pushing them. Number one, to surrender. I feel like right now this person has this idea that they're not useful to anyone right now. I feel like they're at a place where they're recognizing, I actually need to do something about what's going on and start healing. And I do feel like your connection has been an inspiration for that. I feel like both of you are trying to stand in your power and also not let insecurities or uncomfortable experiences, or uncomfortable experiences between the two of you, or uncomfortable experiences that you have spontaneously when interacting with each other. Both of you are trying to breathe through that. It definitely seems like this connection is being impacted by external stress, or both of you have been stressing a bit about this connection. It just seems like you're in a much better place than your person is. And I don't mean that in like a, oh, like pile 3 is number 1 and their person isn't. I just mean like you're doing pretty well right now. You seem pretty balanced and solid, whereas your person definitely kind of seems like things are being circumstances outside of their control are kind of forcing them to shift their energy, whether they want to or not. And I think this connection does play a role. I think that there is some sadness in this person about just like they don't feel capable of engaging with life right now, and that's completely understandable. But also, this person does have a hard time with control, and I think that this connection makes them feel out of control. It also makes them feel like everything is changing so fast, and that's very overwhelming to them. And so I definitely feel like right now, like this connection is kind of on the back burner for them. But they're likely very deep in thought about you, despite kind of being on their own. I definitely think that they are trying to sort themselves out. And I think that there's just a lot of nerves between the two of you. I have a feeling that this person doesn't quite understand why you give them so much grace and compassion. And you might think that's silly, but honestly, if you've ever struggled with mental illness, you probably understand that completely. You could like just be existing and then think like, do I like not deserve to live or exist? And it's like, that is an unwell thought to have, but they're so normal, right? So you just don't even realize it, and then they become part of your belief system, and then one day you don't know how to live, laugh, or love, like a kitchen wall in a white woman's house. Oh, living, laughing, and loving. Gotta love it. And so I definitely think like you guys are in pretty much polar opposite places. And I feel like in your case, you're exercising a lot of maturity and love and standing in what your truth is, despite the fact that this person is not able to show up maybe the way that you would hope they would, or things are unable to progress the way you would like. You're standing in your power and recognizing you can't control their journey. You can't, heal them for them. And instead, it just seems like you're kind of focusing on what is good in your life, celebrating your life. But I can tell like you really want to bring this person in. I wouldn't be shocked if you're manifesting or like just praying that this person heals, because I can definitely see the universe drawing this person to heal. I feel like they are expanding spiritually, especially with this purple here. But it's taking time. I think that they are not... it's really hard to be connected to that stuff when you're already so disconnected in the first place. But I can see that they are either trying to get out and ready to take those steps to move forward, or if they're stuck, the energies that are around them, including the energies of this connection, are really pushing them to move out of this energy into, at the very least, something different, so that they can be more receptive and not be just so stuck in the same, I just heard shame loop. It's like, I can definitely see that you have the maturity and understanding that this person doesn't have the same capacity that you have right now to hold space for things like love and positivity and joy. And you're completely understanding of that. And honestly, if anything, I think you should really give yourself a pat on the back for how much you've healed and grown, and just how mature your perspective is on this. There's like this resolve of, yes, I could go somewhere else. Yes, I could be with other people. I could do this, I could do that. But this is where my heart is, and I'm going to honor it. And I guess for some of you, I just saw this thing. For some of you, maybe you're with someone else and this person is really disappointed about that and they don't understand why that happened. And so they're going away to process that. But I think that would be very, a very select few of you. I can just definitely see this person is needing like alone time to kind of process. But I feel like they are using a lot of that alone time over analyzing every interaction between the two of you and trying to understand like they're almost looking for nefarious reasons why you might be interested in them, because they just don't understand that they could just be like a lovable person, which, I want to give this person like just all the nourishment and care and comfort. And I bet that's how you feel. And it's so hard seeing them push that away. But that's definitely, the good news is it seems like they're becoming open to that and realizing that they have to change how they do things, because what they're doing is not working. And I think it's even really interesting too how it's like you're right side up and they're upside down. Like their world is upside down, they are upside down, and they've just got nothing to show for themselves right now. Oh, I'm sure it's really hard for you to witness like them struggle and be in pain and not be able to do anything about it, especially if you can empathize, because I'm sure, you know, you've been through that journey yourself, and you know, like the only person who can get you out of there is yourself. It's brutal, but we're gonna go deeper now and really see what's going on in this person's psyche. But after this reading, if it's resonating, if you are interested, we are gonna lighten the mood and get spicier. So we're gonna look at things in the extended, like what this person finds irresistible about you: mind, body, spirit, heart. They've been quite juicy so far. We're also gonna look at some 18+ questions, like specifically how would they describe being intimate with you, and if you haven't been intimate with them, like how do they think it would be. We're gonna look at their hidden desires when it comes to you, and also see like how they would react to your hidden desires, at least right now. And we're also gonna look at how you can make those desires a reality, whether they're yours or this person. So really fun so far, really good extendeds. If you want to check that out, that's linked down below. But if not, just grateful you're here and grateful to be reading for you. And if you do want to support, just a little like-see, a subscribe, a comment, all of that is super helpful. So thank you. Letting the ads play. Thank you to everyone who does that. But okay, so pile number 3's person. Okay, pile number 3's person that they're asking about. What are their feelings towards pile number 3? What's going on with them? Okay, so we have the 10 of Swords and the 7 of Swords, and I feel like those want to go together. And I'm also noting that they came out while I was still asking, like I hadn't gotten through the sentence, so, or the sentences, or whatever the hell I was saying or doing a couple seconds ago. So I'm just gonna kind of leave that there. But we have the High Priestess. Okay, what is this person thinking and feeling about pile 3 right now? What's going on with them? We have the 6 of Pentacles. Interesting. What else is going on with them? We have Strength. Okay. This Empress came out and then it flipped over like this. So I'm going to leave that way. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the 5 of Swords. Okay. So if you're at a distance from this person, I definitely feel like part of the reason why they're keeping their distance is to keep you safe from them right now. Not that they would hurt you, but just that I don't really think they want you to see them the way that they are. I actually think one thing that's going through this person right now is an intense spiritual awakening. Especially because we have the 10 of Swords and the 7 of Swords coming out. And I definitely think that like they're processing some sort of intense ending. And this could have been, maybe it was an ending between the both of you. If you are in that small group where you moved on with someone else, this could be an ending of what they thought was possible between the two of you. But I think for this person, there's an ending of self-sabotage and self-delusion in a way that keeps them trapped. I feel like they know that they don't know anything. And I feel like that's very overwhelming for them. Like they have really been stuck. And this is kind of a classic putting another person on a pedestal situation. But I feel like they recognize, like, especially with the Six of Pentacles here, that they cannot give you what you deserve because they just don't have the capacity to do that. Can we clarify the Six of Pentacles? Yeah, it's like they're like, how am I supposed to give, like, how am I supposed to show up in the ways that pile 3 deserves when I have nothing to give? Like, I literally have nothing to give. Like, they feel worthless. Like, this is definitely someone who's in the throes of some painful stuff. Can you clarify strength, please? We have the Three of Pentacles and the High Priestess. Yeah, okay. So, best believe, okay, yeah, crystals are wands, so Ace of Wands on the back of the deck. Best believe they are waking up to the fact that they gotta change. They gotta change. If they can't be complacent anymore, I feel like they know that, and the connection and you have definitely inspired some of that. If they hurt you in any way, even if it was a really, really long time ago, it still eats them alive, and it's still something they're dealing with. In fact, it's something they might even use to self-flagellate. I want to talk about the fact that the Empress card came out and then it flipped over. So I feel like this person constantly denies that you could ever truly be interested in them. They have this like deep down insecurity of like, no, I'm not good enough. No, this can't happen. No, this can't follow through. And it's a learned belief that I feel like they are needing to shift. Because there's a lot of attraction here. Let's talk about that with the Ace of Wands being on the back of the deck. And with Strength and the Three of Wands here, I feel like they know that they need to step up, especially because we have the High Priestess and the Ten of Cups. And I feel like one secret that they have not shared with you is the fact that they feel the connection too. And if they have, I don't think that they have maybe told you how deep those feelings run. I feel like they have spent so long not believing that fulfillment exists that now that it's standing right in front of them, they don't know how to accept it or receive it. And the fact that they feel intuitively like you guys could really be something special. Or they feel intuitively like if you guys are already together, they feel intuitively like you guys could have a really beautiful future together. And they're worried that they might sabotage it with what they're going through and what they're dealing with. There is a desire to give you more than you have now, but they're not really sure how to get there because they're in a place right now where all they can really do is care for themselves. But with the Strength and the Three of Wands being here, I definitely think that they are kind of just hoping that you'll be patient with them, which you are being patient, but they also know that they can't stay in this spot forever. Like, they do have to move forward eventually, but I feel like they're in a very powerful time of growth and expansion on a personal level where they are rediscovering their own inner strength, the part of them that can reject the painful narratives that they've been fed, that can be determined enough to say, you know, I may not be able to control how I'm feeling or what I'm dealing with, but I can control how we respond to it. I also feel like with the Empress being here, I feel like they are really hoping that time works things out a bit. I feel like they know that they've been hiding things from you, and the biggest thing that they've been hiding is their feelings in general. But honestly, I feel like they know that they have to keep moving forward and just get themselves in a place where they can be balanced enough to be able to be more open to you. I do feel like, though, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Pile 3, like when you come into their mind and in their heart, you are both a blessing and a curse because you fill them up with light. Like, like, you know, when you think about a beautiful memory or someone that you care about and you just get happy when you think about them, like they have that experience, but then like concurrently, like right as that's happening, it also brings up everything, that light quite literally brings out the, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, I'll sabotage this, or oh, once they get to know me, they'll realize I'm not good enough. And really what's happening right now is a process of the universe trying to show this person that that's not the truth, and that there's a reason why, you know, you have such deep feelings for them, and it's because of who they are and the beauty of that. But I definitely think that they're processing a lot right now. And one of the things that I was going to say is that I feel like right now a lot of their thoughts and energy is dedicated right now to just feeling better. And I think that you might be a motivating factor for them to want to get better. But they don't have the capacity to really give much right now because it takes all of their energy just to be okay. But I can definitely see here that it is their goal and it is their focus to get back to a place where things are right side up, where they're feeling good again, and where they're not so clouded by frustration and sadness. And I think they also kind of look to you as a source of inspiration, where they know that they can move through this, they can get through this. If you've known this person for a long time, they've seen you grow a lot, and they know they're capable of the same. But I also think that there might be some insecurity, like they might feel intuitively the visions and plans and like what you want for the both of you in the future, even if you've never talked about that. And that might overwhelm them in a way where they may not realize that's what you want, but the thought of that occurring and them like messing it up or not being prepared, or, oh, like, you know, what if they don't want that too? Like it's simultaneously, like, it's like they want it, but it's overwhelming. It's like, but they also recognize like they need to be in a much different place before they can even open themselves up to that. They're definitely in a place right now where they are only able to give to themselves. And part of them behaving the way that they are is just quite literally them not being able to expend more energy. Like I even just feel like really exhausted doing this reading. And I feel like the sad thing is like this person wants to give you so much more. Like they want to be in the same place that you are at right now. And I truthfully, in my heart of hearts, think that they're going through the process right now of getting there. That's why things are so intense for them. But I think that this person has also kind of resolved themselves to the knowing that if this situation is meant to be, then things will be open when the time is right. Because I feel like they know they can't be a partner or someone to other people that, to really anyone, but especially to you. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like even the tarot deck we chose is the Dark Heart Tarot. And I just feel like this person is someone who is very hard on themselves, but also knows that in order to be in a position where they can give equally to you, they have to heal. And I think that's a big part of what they're focused on right now. Like they're certainly not pushing you away. I just think they don't have much to give. And you're probably aware of that. But I think that they just see the world in you. They absolutely see the world in you. And they see you as just so much better than them. And I kind of wish this person would, hopefully as they heal, they will kind of see that they're wonderful too. But I can definitely see here that they need passion back in their life, and they need hope. And sometimes those things don't come as easily as we would like. And I feel like they are going through the process right now of doing that. And I feel like your influence and the influence of this connection has been a powerful catalyst. There's something just very fulfilling about spending time with you that they don't quite understand yet. And they can't possibly believe that you feel the same thing about them. Like there is some self-deprecation here like, I'm manifesting a better self-esteem for this person. This person has better self-esteem every single second of every day. As time passes, this person's self-esteem gets better. Let's manifest that. You know their name. You can say, as every second passes, so-and-so self-esteem increases. You can do yours too. Really, really, actually, honestly, manifest wellness for this person, because, and not so that you guys can progress the connection, just so that they can just not be in this place anymore. Like, that is just the most pure and loving thing that you could do, I think. But yeah, I don't really think their feelings waver in terms of how they feel about you. I mean, I think they see the world in you. I feel like they recognize how strong this connection is, and they recognize like how important your relationship is to them. It is in general, and it is important to them. And I do feel like if you guys are already in a relationship, I think that there is a lot of fear around, you know, what they're dealing with impacting the relationship to the point where it ends. And that could be some of the self-sabotaging energy here, where they're like, this is all gonna fail and it's gonna be my fault. But I think if anything, the more that they can integrate this energy, they'll realize that they can get out of this and they can grow. So in general, let's just see what you need to know at this time for your highest good. So what does pile 3 need to know about this person and their connection with them? What, Spirit, what would you like pile 3 to know? We have the 7 of Cups here. So I feel like there is a reminder here that you're not trapped and that you're not stuck in this situation. If you don't want to be. It may very well be that this person does need time to like grow and process and heal. And that doesn't mean that you have to sit around and twiddle your thumbs waiting for them. You can still have very deep feelings for them and go and explore the world. But also, if you don't want to do that, if you are very focused on creating the life that you see with this person and manifesting that vision, you can also do that as well. But remember, manifestation, think about the magician. The magician uses spiritual energy in every single element: earth, fire, water, air. So when you think about manifesting the life that you want with this person, what would your thoughts be like if they were here? You know, how would they be in your routine? How would they be part of your life? What would it feel like to have them here? What would it look like? Is your physical environment in order? Is there space in your physical life for them? And fire, you know. How are you motivated by this situation? Like, how would your actions change if this person was in your life? You know, would you wake up earlier, or would you keep the other side of your bed clear so that it's has room for another person instead of a bunch of clothes? Like, really think about what it is that you want from this situation. Well, you've done a lot of thinking. I think that this is more about, you might have a fear of missing out, or this feeling of like, what if I invest all this love and energy into this person and they never reciprocate it? Well, that's an interesting question to have, and one where you should be saying, you know, am I going to follow this until things pan out the way that I'm hoping to, or my heart is ready to release it? Or can you allow multiple things to happen at once? Can you have this person in your heart and live your life and explore and have those things both happening? If yes, you can do that. If no, you can honor your heart. I feel like more than anything, Spirit is saying that it might be really easy at this time to feel confused or be uncertain, or wonder if you're doing something wrong, or just feel like confused or uncertain. And that's okay. I feel like if you ever fall under the belief that you're trapped or that you have to be in this situation, that's when you need to take a step back and realize that that's not true. Your heart might be quite attached to it. You might have, you know, a lot of connection to it, but you're not stuck there and you're not forced to be there. The universe would never force you to stay in a situation like that. You have your own power. But also, you know, it's okay to not know. And it's okay to stay open, especially if there's no formal agreement between you and this person. Like, this person does not have much to give right now, and it's okay if you look elsewhere to receive. Like, you're not a bad person for that. I guess I want to see if you are manifesting a positive outcome between you and this person, how can you do that in the quickest and most balanced way possible? Another 7. Don't give up your vision. Continue to focus on what you want. Don't fall back into old stories, old narratives. Focus on the new. Focus on what you're creating. And with this, stand your ground. That might be something where you're being called to stand up to forces that tell you things can't happen. You know, beliefs that tell you, oh, it'll never come to fruition, or you're just having hopeful thinking, or, you know, if someone is really interested in you and you're not reciprocating, but you feel pressured, you know, are you going to say no, or are you going to say yes? Like, really just standing up for what you know in your heart you're trying to create. I think that's the most important. But I feel like what a big factor that's important here is the number 7 seems to be coming out a lot. And it seems like you both are in very individual cycles right now in terms of how you can best help yourselves and help the connection. Like, this person needs to kind of go on their own. Like, this step away that they've taken is important and necessary for them to be able to step towards you, should that option be open when they reach that point where they're open. And that doesn't mean they have to be fully healed or anything like that. It just means that they have to be, you know, okay enough to have the energy and openness and willingness to be vulnerable in situations with you. Like, you don't have to heal something. You don't have to have something figured out. You don't have to be at a certain place. You, like, honestly, one of the best things that you can do is believe that you're lovable now. And maybe that's one thing that, like, this person may not have energy to give you because all their energy is spent on what's wrong with them, you know? So, like, one of the things that could bring you closer together is this person creating the belief that, or realizing that they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be quote unquote healed. They just have to try, and they have to be open, or willing to do something differently. And you can stand up for that. But I also feel like there's kind of the path that you're choosing, the journey you're on, it's yours. You can't compare it to anyone else's, and you won't get clarity from someone else's situation about your own. A lot of what this cycle and this phase is about for you is about creating what you want out of life and co-creating with the divine to do it. And if what you want is a happy, healthy relationship with this person, I can definitely see that the connection is already instigating that, where this person is being drawn to, okay, here are the things that are making me unhealthy and unhappy. Instead of being powerless, let's see how we can start to change them or move through this or change our circumstances. But I feel like for you, this is definitely the time to put yourself first and put your needs first. Definitely don't put the connection or this person above yourself when it comes to doing what's best for you. But also, there is nothing wrong with leaving space for this connection and this person in your heart, and honoring that and being loyal to that if you want to. But also know that you are not a bad person if you don't remain loyal, quote unquote, loyal to a situation where you may not have any agreements or commitments there. I mean, if you do have agreements and commitments and you're disloyal, that's a whole different thing. But like, I definitely think that when it comes to this situation, you're doing a great job already. And I think you really need to trust yourself and let go of the wins in the house. And just know it's true for you. So I guess I want to see what does pile 3 need to know when it comes to this person they asked about, you know? What can they expect to occur with them, or how can they best encourage or create opportunities for this person to heal directly, or just shift their perspective, directly or indirectly? We 8 of Cups. So I definitely think that, oh, look, we have the Ace of Wands on the back of the deck again. I actually think one of the best things that you could do for yourself at this time is look at where you're still emotionally invested in lost causes And I'm not talking about this person as a lost cause. I'm talking about, where are you emotionally invested in situations that aren't helping you? And if you're emotionally invested in this person and showing up, maybe asking yourself, is that emotional energy best spent elsewhere? I do feel like taking a step back from the connection in general, where if you're thinking about this person a lot, if you're, just kind of dealing with their energy a lot, it might be helpful to kind of intentionally draw your energy back and focus on self. I mean, of course, if you're already focusing on self, then you don't need to do too much, but it's possible that all of the loving energy that you may not consciously realize you're sending them, it could just be extra intense. Like, instead of the sun shining so that you can see outside, it's like the sun's so bright it's blinding. It's almost like by kind of turning your back on this person, not literally, but like metaphorically, and kind of just recentering your energy and refocusing it on yourself in your immediate world, it will kind of bring the intensity down for your person, where they can start to see the steps forward. It's almost like, the pressure that you feel when someone you care about is watching you do something, or there's like pressure or there's attachment to outcome. Like, I definitely think, like, just whenever you find yourself getting really caught up in this person and hoping that they feel better or do better or whatever it may be, realizing that they can do it, and that in fact the best thing that you can do is focus on your own growth, your own evolution, and that's what will help them. I feel like just like kind of taking your energy back, your emotional energy back, and just recognizing when you've kind of lost sight of your own self, like that will be really helpful. But I also think you should know that this person, like, their next big step is going to be walking away from the past and walking away from emotional investments that they had in the past, around painful past experiences or just things that made life heavy. And I do think what that could be leading to is, the fact that we have the Tower here, a complete change, and an Ace of Wands opportunity, an opportunity to start new and to have passion. Like, this person needs to be in a position where they can even feel passion again and hold space for that. And then once and so right now I feel like the universe is just orienting them in a way where they can show up and be themselves, and not just be a like, this person just, they don't want to be someone that takes up so much of your mental, they don't want to take up your time and energy if they can't be worthy of it. And I can just definitely see that the more you can recenter on yourself, because like, this is a cycle that you can and will move through, and your person will move through, but it's definitely one where it's not within your control. What is within your control is how you choose to live your life in the meantime. And as long as you're honoring yourself and honoring your truth, you really can't go wrong there. But I definitely think finding things in your life that can be really emotionally exciting or fulfilling, and that doesn't have to be like a relationship. That can be just in spending more time with your friends, or starting a new hobby, or dedicating yourself to a project you care about. I feel like all of that could be a great way to channel your emotional energy and just kind of contain it more. Like, I don't even think, like, neither of you consciously recognize how the emotional investment in this connection creates more intensity and stress, and it's not something you need to blame yourselves for. But if you find yourself just being very focused, like, can't stop thinking about this person, or just feeling like yearning or want for them, that's when you need to recognize part of your manifestation process is you wouldn't be yearning for them or wanting them if they were here. So how can you rein in your emotional state to feel the comfort, safety, peace, and joy that might exist with them right in front of you, with them being centered enough and self-loving enough to be able to accept love from others, for example? There's really there might be emotional investment on your part around the belief that this person won't get better, or that things can't get better until this person gets better. And you might want to look at how much investment you have in that narrative, because that might be part of why things can't move forward. Maybe shifting that belief to, we can both be works in progress and still move forward. And especially for your person, you can be as flawed as you are and still be loved, and still be open, and still be accepted. I definitely just think, like, don't attach, don't focus on how things appear right now, because, like, this is definitely a transient time for you. But I think you're doing such a good job at staying, like, you're definitely in union with yourself. And I think that if you, and like, my heart kind of leaped when I said that. And so I really feel like, you know, if you can do that with yourself, so can this person. And you can also have that with this person. But if you're trying to create union with this person, first of all, recognize that that looks different for everyone. And you have to get clear on what yours is. But also you have to believe that it's possible, believe that you're worthy of it. And sometimes that requires some intense and dramatic shifts. So that's why this choose wisely and stand your ground are here. And I definitely think the more you focus on what's within your power, which you've already been doing, the best position you'll be in. And I think that I'm hearing Don't Stop Believing right now by Journey. And I think that's a very important message, because I feel like this person needs you to believe in them. They may not even realize that they need that, but you might need to ask yourself, do I truly believe that they can change and heal? Do I truly believe that they can be different or be more open, or that things can evolve? I mean, look at yourself, look at how you've evolved, and give them that same grace and recognize, like, anything is possible. Like, you'll continue to grow and evolve, and so will they, and perceptions and beliefs can shift. And the ones in this situation can too, to favor you guys more. So if not, just keep doing you, and everything, whatever is meant to be, if you're leaving it up to the universe, will meant to be. And if you're creating your own outcome, which is your God-given right as a creator being, then you can trust that as long as you're having faith in that and following that, things will unfold as they're meant to. So, pile 3. I feel like I could go on forever. So I mean, I'm going to leave this reading here. Because it feels very heavily like to be continued, because things are so transient right now anyway. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave this reading, and I'm going to go ahead and move into the extended. So hopefully we'll get, like, you know, more of how this person sees you, and less of like what they're processing and dealing with. So if you are interested in that, that'll be linked down below. But if you are leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to support me and show appreciation for my channel. If you'd like to do that in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ASO10 for 10% off. You can check out my other videos. You can check out the extended. But that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading resonated. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 4. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Rainbow Heart and the Tarot of Oneness, this is going to be your reading on how the person you're asking about is currently feeling about you. We are going to start with an energy check. You are on the left, your person is on the right. So if the you part does not resonate, I would try a different reading. If it's flip-flopped, I would also try another reading before you watch this one. Otherwise, you're going to be hearing about yourself. If the energies are mirrored, that's totally fine. There will likely be truths for both of you. And obviously, if it does resonate, hello, you found the right reading. Full breakdown of the reading in the intro. So we're going to start by looking at your energy and feelings towards this person and the connection right now. So for that, we have the Emperor and the 8 of Swords. We have abundance. I am a limitless being. I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. And we also have don't let someone come between us. And then looking at your person's, or the person you're asking about, energy and feelings, we have the 3 of Swords. We have I'm playing hard to get. And we have freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Like trying to decide. Okay, no. Yeah, we're just going to live with it being uneven. Okay, and then these two cards represent the energy between the two of you that does exist between the two of you. And for that, we have acceptance and we have joy. The energy of joy activates our feelings of happiness and well-being. It supports a high vibrational frequency in our being. Interesting. Okay. So, pile 4, can you just like visually, even if you don't know what I look like, which is fine, you can just go to my Instagram. I haven't changed in the span of a year. I just am giving you the biggest hug right now. I'm giving you the biggest astral hug from my higher self. And I just want you to know it's okay. And you're doing so great. You're doing amazing. Breathe with me. Because you both are overthinking the shit out of this. And it is definitely creating some unnecessary blockages, but also I don't fully know this situation and I'm only seeing what I'm seeing. So let me just go ahead and go into it. So starting with your energy, you are working your ass off to stay in control because there is a lot of potential pitfalls for rumination. I can definitely see you being stuck in your head about this situation and actively fighting it. I can see you don't necessarily trust this person. Maybe things are newer between the two of you, or maybe you guys are not, maybe you are in a commitment with them, but things have just been, you guys have been a bit disconnected recently. I can definitely see that you're neglecting your own feelings a bit. And I can definitely see like stories from the past are like, I would not be shocked if you're someone who has experienced being cheated on or has been betrayed or has been just really hurt by someone you loved in the past. And you've done a lot of work on yourself. You've done a lot of growth, a lot of healing. And you recognize that even if this doesn't work out with this even if this situation doesn't work out with this person that you're asking about, that you'll be okay, that it'll work out. But I can tell your heart is weary and your heart is tired. But the thing is that your heart doesn't give up. And your heart also knows that there's something worthy here. And so I feel like you're trying to balance between your conscious mind protecting yourself and saying, well, even if they are, not serious about us or messing around or not interested, there's whatever we want out there. But I think what your heart really wants is this person. And the interesting thing is that you guys are actually both playing old stories, and it's creating division and blockage where it really doesn't need to be. Obviously you can't control how your person behaves, but I do think that it's interesting that you have don't let someone come between us, because I do think that is happening. However, I don't think it's like a person that exists right now. Like, I don't think, like, for example, if you're in a committed relationship with this person, which I feel like for most of you, you're not. I feel like this is either a newer situation or a situation where things are getting more serious. You could be though. So you might have to tweak the messages a bit to make them resonate. But I do feel like there is a past person that is getting in the way of this person, of your person being more open to you. And it's not because they still have feelings attached to this person. The only feelings they have attached are pain and suffering and loss and fear as a result of what happened with this past person. There's also could be, if there's any present interference, it could be from peers or even a parental figure in this person's life who are telling them to be cautious or to not trust anyone, or basically projecting their own wounds around love onto your person. And that's reinforcing this idea that they shouldn't be as open to you, or that they should play hard to get, or that because your person is playing games. Let me just be real. They're playing games. They're playing games out of fear of being open. And here's the really sad thing about this whole situation is the fact that the reason why all of this is manifesting for the both of you is because you feel so good when you're around each other and you enjoy being in one another's presence. And that's terrifying for two people who are used to getting wounded in love. And it's a very challenging thing to be open to love when we have been hurt, and to believe that things can be different when we've been hurt. Because what if they are the same? Well, the good thing is if it is the same, you know how to deal with it and you've been there before, right? And you can handle it. It's just going to make you stronger. But it sucks and we don't want that to happen. So I'm not saying that will happen. I cannot know. But what I do know is that this person is playing games because they like you a lot more than they are willing to admit. They are very happy when they're around you, and it's almost disarming. And I also think that both of you right now are kind of stuck in your heads about this situation. And so both of you are kind of just taking a laissez-faire attitude about this and letting the other person do their thing. So I think what this is my hypothesis. My hypothesis is that your person started getting a little fishy. Maybe they were responding to you less. Maybe they were less enthusiastic. Maybe they've been giving you the runaround a little bit, or maybe just their effort has dwindled a bit. They're not putting in as much energy as they were before. And that's because they're like, well, maybe they're not into me as much as I'm into them. So what? Maybe I'll just pull back and see if they try harder for me. Game playing. I'd call your person out right now. I'd be like, that is some bullshit. You guys enjoy being around each other. What the fuck are you doing? But I'm here talking to you. So that likely triggered you and made you uncomfortable and started to bring up your insecurities around people being dishonest with you, around your pain, that around worry that what if someone else is in the picture? What if they found someone else? What if they're realizing they're not interested in me? What if they didn't enjoy it as much as I didn't enjoy hanging out as much as I did? Well, I'm gonna let them come to me because I'm not gonna do anything. You are like, I am not gonna do anything to look stupid, foolish, or disempowered. I'm in my power. I'm gonna let them come to me. So both of you are in a Spider-Man standoff, which I call it that because if you've ever seen that Spider-Man meme of like Spider-Man pointing at each other, it's like as a result, because you got fearful and insecure because of their behavior that started because they were fearful and insecure, then that made them more fearful and insecure. And now they had physical evidence that you were hiding, like you were holding back from them. And so then that reinforces, see, the parental figure could be like, see, I told you, they pull back, like they're pulling back. You never know what they could be doing. And then their mind saying, see, maybe they didn't like us as much, because if they did, then they would maybe reach out more. And what neither of you are anticipating is that you've both been wounded in love, you both have insecurities, and you both are being afraid of being rejected by one another, especially because it feels really good to hang out with one another. And so both of you right now are trying to focus on individually the perks of what happens if this situation falls through. And for you, it's the recognition that you can have whatever you want, and that if this person does not pan out to be the one that you were hoping, that someone else will come along and do that. But it sucks and it's hard to keep having hope and being disappointed. I fully feel you and understand you, and I see you. And for this person, they're under the recognition of, well, if things don't work out here, well, if they reject me, I'm free and I can do whatever I want, and I don't have to be under someone's thumb or be vulnerable. And I think that the interesting thing is that you have this whole heart right here, and like in here, it's like the swords are in it. And I think one thing that we don't talk about with the Three of Swords very much is just the fact that it doesn't have to represent current heartbreak. It could also represent old stories that keep the heart emotionally unavailable. And I feel like that is where this person is at, because it feels really good to be around you, and it's really scary to be in that feeling again, because the last time they felt that, they got fucked over. And here's the interesting thing. I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but like you would relate to the same thing. You'd be like, yeah, I know exactly what that feels like. It sucks and it's terrible. But I don't know where y'all are at in your relationship. And one thing I do know is that the value that exists of being together, like how good it feels, how happy it makes the both of you, it scares the shit out of both of you, because it's also something that, I'm swearing a lot, I'm sorry, but actually, no, I'm not. I like swearing. YouTube doesn't, and some other people don't, but that's not my problem. That's your problem. Anyway, my problem is if I do it too much. Like one time I said the C word too much and then YouTube demonetized me. But I think they were massive C words for that. And I wish that America were like the UK and Australia, where it is said a lot more freely. I think it's a fun word to say. Anyway, you don't have to agree with me, but like it's fun. I like saying it. I don't take offense to it. There's definitely like just a sense here though of you are really like, because here's the thing, you're actually doing a really good job by not playing into this person pulling back. Because what their typical pattern is that they pull back, and then the other person invests more effort, and that reassures them that they have the power, and that they're safe. They can't have that and be in an authentic, they cannot play games and be in a healthy relationship. And for you, I think the only thing that you could do that would be healthy is maybe communicate and just ask them what's up. But I can definitely see here one big insecurity coming in your way is the belief that there's someone else, or that other people could be better than you, or that they could find someone else. And I think for both of you, what you're really trying to do is just accept the circumstances for how they are right now. But I definitely think you're both in a silent standoff, because neither one of you wants to be the first to reopen the door, because both of you are very afraid. Neither one of you wants to be the one rejected. Neither one of you wants to be the one that loses and let go of the idea. You're both guess what? You both are losers right now. You both are losing, because you're both in your head and you're not being real and authentic. You both are letting fear win. So both of you lose right now. But you can both be winners. At the very least, you can be one. You can be authentic and stand in your truth. There's an abundance of ways that you could speak your truth, share it, change it, do things differently. But the belief that someone could come in and change their mind, or that you're not good enough, that is something you do need to shift. Because even if there are people that are interfering with this connection, like for example, a parental figure, don't harbor the belief that parental figure has enough power to change their mind. Because this person, I'll tell you one thing, the only person they truly listen to is themselves. They might be swayed or convinced by someone, but they could just as easily go the other way. And I feel like more than anything, both of you just haven't really talked about what you guys are, what's going on, or, you know, maybe the fears and resistances you might have to opening up to something more. And so it's like both of you are trying to prepare to cut your losses and cope with whatever happens. But I really don't feel like that's what either of you want. I feel like that's what fear is trying to get both of you to do, because it's scary to be open again. But you know, someone coming between the two of you is both of you. You're coming in between the two of you because you're protecting yourselves, and listen, that's fine. Like, that's normal, it's natural, it's human. But you guys are in a standoff right now, and someone's gonna have to be the bigger person and be like, hey, what's going on? Why is this happening? Miss our regular thing. You know what I mean? So, first of all, I love how similar these cards are. I feel like you guys are afraid of how happy the other makes you. It makes me think of that Michael Scott quote where it's like, I want people to be afraid of how much they love me. It's kind of like the vibe of what can happen here. And I definitely think more than anything, like, there's like both of you kind of feel like it's too good to be true, or like the way that you guys make each other feel, like how happy you are around one another, like that can't last forever. Well, you can't know that. It certainly won't if you end it or push it away before anything happens, but you never know. But while I'm shuffling, if you are interested, we are going to do an extended for this reading where we are looking at your person's desires and also what they find irresistible about you. So we're going to do like a deep dive into that. We're going to look at your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit. We're also going to look at like if you've been intimate with them, like how they would describe that experience, and if you haven't, how they think it would go. We're also going to look at their hidden desires when it comes to you, and also see how they would react to your hidden desires if they knew them. And we're also going to look at how you can make those desires a reality. I did change it for pile 3, so I might change it for yours too, especially if there's an emphasis on manifestation and helping you course correct. I might change it to help you course correct if that is deemed necessary, and I don't get all that out in the free guidance. But anyway, no matter what, just grateful you're here. Thanks for being here. And if you still want to support me, but you know, money's tight, or you don't want to check out an extended, just leaving me a like, a comment, letting the ads play, subscribing, all that is super helpful. So thank you to everyone who does that. And thank you for being here. So, okay, one more good shuffle and we'll get into it. So this is technically about this person's feelings, but we're just going to kind of go into all of it and just really see what's going on with them. So, Spirit, what's going on with pile 4's person? What are they currently feeling for pile 4? What's going through their mind? We have the 8 of Wands. What's going through? We have Strength and the Embodiment of Wands. I don't know what the Embodiment of Wands is, so I'm going to have to look at that. Okay. What else do they feel for... Wow, okay, we have the Empress and the 2 of Swords. So, Emperor and Empress coming out. What else is going on here? We have the Action of Cups, which I'm willing to bet is the Knight of Cups. And there it is, 9 of Swords on the back of the deck. Let me just grab the guidebook really quickly because I need to know. I'm going to guess the Action of Cups is the Knight of Cups, but the embodiment's either the King or the Queen, and I don't know which one that is. Okay, embodiment is King, and action is, I think I passed the cups. Excuse me, I did not mean to do that. The embodiment, spirit, action. Okay, yeah, 9 of Cups. All right, so this all makes so much sense. This 9 of Swords is particularly powerful. Especially, look at how close in color it is to that Freedom card. It's like the fear. They could have a fear of commitment or a fear of just committing their heart to someone because of being betrayed. But like, if you've had that experience, I'm sure you have compassion for that. But you also know where the line should be drawn in terms of like, that's understandable, but also that's a bullshit excuse. Like, you're enabling yourself, you're not protecting yourself. Whew. Hello, Emperor energy, pile 4. No wonder you're pile 4. That's some bad bitching up in here. And doesn't matter who you are. You could be the manliest man in the world and you are still a bad bitch. Okay. So they definitely are having a really hard time not reaching out already. And in fact, I do feel like even if like if you do wait, they will come towards you. Like, they will. They're planning on it already, but they're just hoping that you'll beat them to it and that they will be able to hold out. Because with the King of Wands here, clarified by Strength, I don't know if this person is a fire sign or has a lot of fiery energy, but there's a lot of passion here, but also a lot of ego. Like, and all egos do is, egos are a fear response and they're designed to protect us. They just do it in like the worst ways possible for our growth and well-being. So in this case, it's like the connection that they feel towards you is strong, but their ego is also strong. And I feel like they're trying to kind of build themselves up, because I'm not gonna lie, the fact that you didn't like play into the game that they created where you overcompensated for their lack of sharing or giving in the way that they were, made them feel insecure. Like, oh, maybe I'm not enough, or oh, maybe they didn't like me as much as I thought, or oh, this is different. They're doing something differently. That really scared them and shook them. Like, it's really interesting because they have the ability to be such a strong, wise, empowered leader, just like you, Mr. or Miss Emperor. But they, when it comes to matters of the heart and someone that they have feelings for, it is so easy. Like, it's actually really interesting that this King of Wands is a little gecko, which geckos are featured in the King of Wands card, but the chair is so big, and the gecko, like, I don't know if his little gecko hands can grab that wand. It's almost like the role that's being required of this person when it comes to connection with you, they almost feel unprepared for it, or like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Like, it's almost like a fear of not being enough, or, you know, I'm seeing that SpongeBob episode where they try to teach Squidward to jellyfish hunt, and Squidward's like all bandaged up, and Patrick keeps like telling him to firmly grasp the net, you know, firmly grasp it. It's like, I know one thing they want to firmly grasp. but they might be settling for themselves until they can get out of their insecurity. But it's almost like they can't firmly grasp taking the lead in this connection because they are so afraid of softening to it. I mean, the fact that we have the Two of Swords here and the Empress, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're talking strictly energies here. Like, you could be the girliest girly on the block, the most womanliest woman, and be embodying Emperor energy. Like, it is all about energy. It is not about how you express yourself, whether you have titties or not. It is all about vibes. And for your person, the vibes that they need to embrace are these Empress vibes, these soft, creative, nurturing, comforting energies. That's what they feel when they're around you. And you notice how, like, this acceptance here, like all this white, like, they feel so accepted around you, and I bet you feel the same way. And that's uncomfortable for them, because part of an agreement they have in love is that they have to earn love, that they have to prove they're worthy of it, that they have to do something. And that's probably part of the reason why their leadership energy feels so confused, because they're not, like, this love doesn't follow the typical template that either of you have followed. For you, it's because you're doing things differently. You've grown, you've healed, and you love and respect yourself enough to not play into games or take other people's behavior personally in a way that causes you to devolve into taking actions that no longer align with you. You are doing amazing. However, it is completely understandable that fear would get the best of you here. But look at how you are still, like the fear is there and you're acknowledging it and you're dealing with it. You might be ruminating with it, but it's not taking you away from the action you know is authentic and aligned with you. That is courage. That is bravery. That is awesome. You are doing great. It's not about being fearless is not about never feeling fear. It's about feeling the fear and doing what you know is right anyway. For your person, they're the one that created this situation. I'm dead set that they're the one that created it. Like, I could be wrong, but maybe you did something completely innocent that you weren't aware of that made them insecure, that made them feel like they needed to play games. But even if that's the case, they chose to play games, so they did start it. That's and I'm standing on that. But with the Two of Swords and the Empress here, it's like, oh, it's actually interesting too, because look at the lights underneath these doors. One is blue and one is green, like the heart, and blue like this freedom card. And I feel like they know through one door, they get a lot of the same. And it's comfortable. And they're free. But they're lonely, and they're emotionally unavailable, and they're cold to the world. Because here's the thing, even though they've got all this fire energy, most if not all of it is used to bolster their own sense of self, to make up for the insecurities they have, to make up for, where they feel they're not good enough. And then in this door, we've got the heart, we've got softening, we've got joy, we've got acceptance, we've got a healed, happy heart. And that is scary. There's also this recognition of moving forward with you means life changes. And I just heard the words like point of no return, where they are afraid of that point of no return, where they've fallen in love with you, or they know, like choosing this path, it's like, well, what if I choose it and then I realize it's not for me? I feel like they have fallen hard and fast in the past, and that has come to bite them in the ass. And I don't know what the situation is between the two of you, but part of them pulling back could be maybe trying to mitigate that. But okay, all right, I'm not going to give them that though, because they are playing games out of fear. And sure, it might be a convenient excuse to say that, but they called themselves out. They're playing hard to get. So I feel like they know that this situation would be very healing. And I think that's maybe disarming for them, especially because for some of you, I feel like this person, maybe their mother passed away, or they didn't really know their mother. Maybe they had only male figures around, or maybe they have a really contentious relationship with their mother. I just feel like there's something about the mother here where they were taught that they were taught things about comfort and safety and nourishment that were not rooted in love, but that were rooted in survival or fear. And I feel like because of that, their ability to identify what is healthy and what is safe is skewed. And I think that you both have been in a process of learning that. And I think actually what's even more disarming about this is the fact that you're outdoing them. Like, they are the one that gets off on having power. But this relationship is not beating one another or winning or having power. It's about just enjoying each other's presence and embracing the love that can exist between two people and the acceptance. And like, there's a real pure innocence in it. But neither of you are innocent in the sense that you've lived life. You've lived, laughed, and loved, my sweet Karens, and you have experienced heartbreak and pain, and you are not naive. But the stories of the past don't have to be the stories of the future. And I think that you know consciously that you're doing everything in your power to make that happen, and it's really up to this person to be willing to do the same. And here's the thing. They want to. With that Knight of Cups here, they have romantic feelings for you, and that is very disarming to them. They're going to have to recognize that, oh, I'm hearing Janis Joplin in my head. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. And they are needing to redefine what freedom truly is, number one. And number two, they have a hard time allowing themselves to just do what feels good. And what feels good is being with you. What feels good is being around you, sharing themselves. I think they have very early experiences of not being accepted, especially by parental figures, where maybe they were ridiculed for being soft or for being sensitive or having big dreams. And I think for the first time ever, that little version of them got to be themselves around you. And that was really enjoyable. And I bet your inner child felt safe in their presence as well. And I bet when you guys are together, everything feels great. Everything feels good. It's when you guys are not together, when you go your separate ways, that the overthinking happens, that the uncertainty happens, that the fear happens. And for your person, I definitely think that they are kind of, there's two wolves in them right now. The wolf that wants to undo what they've created and bring the joy and closeness back, and the other wolf that wants to see what happens and see how things unfold, because they're genuinely uncertain if you feel the same way as they do. But I do feel like if you reach out to them, or like you were the first one to instigate, they would respond quite quickly. But they definitely have romantic feelings, and I do feel like they want to move things forward. They're just really afraid to, because they don't want to get hurt. And I feel like with this Strength card being here, they're having to surrender to the beast in them. And the thing is that the beast is not a bad thing. The beast is the animalistic part of them, the part of them that needs closeness, that needs comfort, that needs companionship, that needs closeness with another human being. I feel like they got so used to that they forgot what that feels like. And here's the thing, like, look at how your Emperor card looks so similar to this King of Wands. It's like you're outdoing their typical tactics by just standing in your power and not playing games. They don't know what this, they don't understand what this looks like. And at the same time, so they're not being enabled to go back into an old pattern. So they have no choice but to sit with what they've created. And on top of that, they're dealing with the withdrawal of the joy and affection that comes with connecting with you. So rest assured, like, they played stupid games and are winning stupid prizes. But I think these stupid prizes are showing them that they could have something much better should they choose to be more open and authentic, because they do feel a genuine sense of like comfort and nourishment with you that's very disarming to them, and that just makes them feel like head over heels for you. And that, I think, is really scary, because they know they could be swept up in some sort of dramatic action. But if you're there to temper that and you guys openly communicate and things like that, what's the harm? But also, there's nothing wrong necessarily with things going very fast. Like, I know I know a married couple that have been married for decades, and they got married after 6 weeks. They had like 6 kids and totally still live their lives together and are happy. Other people date for years and it doesn't work out. Like there is no blueprint for how relationships are supposed to work, for how things are supposed to unfold. Like everyone is unique. You two are unique individuals, and your relationship together is unique. What works for both of you and how things unfold will be unique as well. I definitely think that they are letting their own inner demons get in the way, but I also heard like spiritual warfare. And here's the thing about spiritual warfare. Stop believing that it can touch your connection or interfere with your life. The best spiritual protection that you can ever have is goodwill towards yourself and others. And also believe that you are protected, that you are loved, and that no amount of occult bullying can stop you, can stop your manifestations, can stop you from living a life you love. You are a divine creator, and someone else's will cannot get in the way of the power of your heart, because your heart is the most powerful source of magic and energy that you have. And let's be real, those sorts of things are not rooted in love. It's always rooted in something lower than love. Envy, jealousy, hatred, insecurity, whatever. It's not rooted in love. So it can never be more powerful than it. And no, the most powerful thing you can do is say no. It can't happen. I reject that. I'm protected and I'm loved, and I'm going to focus on love. Because focusing on it is what gives it power. And believing that it can affect you is the worst thing that can happen. Or the worst thing that you can do for yourself. And truthfully, I don't even think there actually is any. I think it's just your fear that it might be there. There might be psychic attack in the form of like negative projections or something like that, but you don't have to agree with them. It's like, for example, like what I was saying, like, you know, let's say you're talking to someone else about this person and they have also been screwed over by people in the past in relationships. Like, even if they're not intentionally psychically attacking you, but they might be like, you need to be careful, or you should go on a date with someone else, or you should do this, or you should do that, especially if it doesn't align with your heart. Like, that might be a form of like just messing with your psyche and messing with your heart and your heart's truth, and that can create unnecessary stress. You don't need that there. But yeah, they are afraid of how much they are interested in you, and they are definitely processing right now old stories that are getting in the way of closeness between the two of you, and realizing you can't have this pure kind of connection and play the sort of games that you're used to. You can either put the board down and engage authentically, or play alone. And they gotta choose. So let's go ahead and get some guidance for you and see what you need to know. But just know as well, like, I feel like this is, if anything, a small hiccup that's showing you both where there are potential pitfalls to create disconnection and discord, but they're showing what's within you that still needs to be acknowledged and healed. And let me be clear, whatever that is, that doesn't need to be fixed or healed in order for you two to come together or to go to get where you need to be. It just needs to be brought into check enough to where you don't allow it to override what you feel is being authentic and override what's in your heart. You are just as lovable flawed, or just as lovable wounded, as you are healed. Okay? Okay. Okay, kids, okay. We're just gonna get some guidance now. Like the guidance counselor, Mr. Mackey, okay? I don't know why South Park came through there, but it did. Okay. Probably because I was saying okay. Okay. So, Spirit, what guidance can we give pile number 4? What do they need to know about this situation at this time? Okay. I'll stop, I'm sorry. We have the Hierophant. Do not veer away from what you've learned and what you know to be true. With the Hierophant here, you have grown beyond certain cycles, and you might have been tempted to maybe do what this person expected, like overcompensate and invest more energy, right? But you know better. You've grown and you've healed, and you know, I don't have to go above and beyond. I don't have to do that. You saw the game and you said, I'm not playing. Keep that in mind. I also think another thing that you need to know is that this situation is giving you the opportunity to test the principles you've forged through the healing process you've already done. Not only that, but this is encouragement to not sway from your vision and what you truly want. If you want a more traditional, relationship, or if you want deeper commitment, don't waver from that. Speak your truth, even if that's not what this person ends up wanting. Because if you wanted that, if you want that, own it. Don't stay in a situation where someone isn't willing to have that. Like, I'll just be completely honest. If this person is unwilling, I mean, unless you guys have some other agreement, like you guys are non-monogamous or polyamorous or something like that, that's different. But like, if you want a monogamous committed relationship and this person is capable of monogamy, like I do feel they are. I do feel like they are that type of person. They're just afraid of it, which I'm sure you are too, which is probably why you would end up in the past in situations that remained murky, because it is safer to not veer into that territory, because then it gets serious and real and you have to have uncomfortable conversations, and then you might potentially be rejected, and that could be scary and awful. But it's really not as bad as you think it is. Being rejected is actually really powerful, because it just allows you to realize, oh, I'm still here. Oh, that hurt, but I'm fine, and I'll be fine. It makes you less afraid of it when you experience it, and more unapologetic about what you truly want, because you know you're going to get it, even if you have a couple of no's first. But just know, like, I think what you need to know most is that you're doing great. You're doing amazing, like I've already said. But keep testing the principles you forged and see what else there is still for you to learn. I also think, though, there's a need for you to be stubborn and patient, because when it comes to energy like this, sometimes you have to wait it out. Sometimes you have to be the one to be like, I'm not going to play this game with you. You created this, you're ending this. You know what I mean? Even though you might want to do the opposite. But that's your wisdom at work. I also think that when you need answers or support, go to a trusted source, whatever that is. It could be me, which if it's me, oh my God, thank you. It could be your own deck. It could be a religious leader. It could be a trusted authority. It could be a therapist or a counselor. It could be anything. Anyone that you trust to give you good advice, to lift you up, and to have your best interests at heart. That will be good. But also know that, like, there's nothing you can't handle in this situation. And also, like, I feel like there's a part of you that feels deep down like this is just going to be another lesson. Let go of that, okay? Because, like, if you're with someone forever, guess what? It's going to be like a ton of lessons. But that doesn't mean that's not the whole point of the interaction. And I guarantee you, even in situations where someone was a lesson, that wasn't the whole point of the interaction between the two of you. Maybe they showed you a cool food you never had before. Or maybe they just enriched your life for a period of time. And they also taught you lessons. Everything has lessons in it, okay? Looking at this person that way is not helping you. What will help you is recognizing this person could potentially be a very foundational and integral part of my life. But I'm not going to compromise my values and what I've learned and what I believe in and what I care about now in order to try and make someone fit there. Either they fit there or they don't. And if they don't want to adhere to what my boundaries are and what I envision, then they're not the person that's meant to have, then they can't hang long term with me. You know what I mean? Like, I can see you want someone dedicated and committed, and I feel that this, and you're not wrong in thinking that this person is capable of it, but they got to believe in it too, and they have to want it too. And I think the thing is that there's freedom in commitment. That's what a lot of people that are afraid of commitment don't realize. And I'm not just talking about it in a relationship sense, but it's up to them to discover. So More guidance. Let's see. What else should we ask? Is there anything pile 4 could do to dissolve any blockages here that could just bring more closeness and resolve some of this? Okay, so we have the Death card here. So really just honestly, anytime an old response or behavior comes up, don't engage with it. Say, no, we're not doing that. Anytime, and here's the thing, you're doing that really well when it comes to actions, but where you could improve is your thoughts. Because even though your actions are remaining in line with what you've learned, your thoughts are still focused on the old. Your thoughts are still saying, well, this could be betrayal, or we can't trust anyone, or everybody plays games, or whatever it may be. The new that you're creating, that should be around what you want to see in someone else. You should be saying things like, I believe in the ability for this person to surprise me in wonderful ways. I believe in the ability for us to work through issues as they come. And also to just look at, are there things you could do that feel authentic to you, that are maybe different and a little bit scary, but would face things head on? I do feel like for some, I do feel like there is an opportunity here to release a lot of these, because like really the blockages here between the two of you are mental, and they require perception shifts. And the hard part about the mental body is the fact that our brains run on habit. We're habitual creatures. So even though you're creating new, the old is going to come up. The fears are going to come up. The past is going to come up. It is inevitable. You cannot pull from the future. You can only pull from your past memories. That's what your whole damn brain is based on. So it's not going to be shocking. It's not a sign of failure when an old fear comes up or an insecurity comes up. It's just repetition and skill building where you are able to counteract it rather than let that narrative take hold back into your belief system or back into yourself in a way where it takes up mental space and energy. It doesn't need to do that. Part of your growth and transformation, which I love that this woman's in like this, like literally the same outfit as the Emperor. Like, look at that shit. That's so cool. Where you are leading with love. You're taking actions with love and you're treating yourself with love. And one of the things that is loving, that is a form of self-love, is paying attention to your thoughts. You can be open and not be naive. You can believe in the good of others, but not be blindsided by when they inevitably, that's a word. If you think people are inevitably going to turn, that is a belief you need to look at. Sorry if you can hear my stomach. This is all about focusing on how far you've already come and also recognizing what's still in the way, what's still part of the old, and recognizing how the old is still in your life and how that needs to be shed, whatever you can do. And that's the thing too, is like all of this could be a personal process. Like while you're waiting for this person to get bored playing their game, you could be looking at, okay, where in my thoughts do I need to reorient things? So here's what I will say. You have the 8 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords is a self-inflicted bind. So you can get out of this. 9 of Swords with this person, they might need to go to therapy. They might need some external help to deal with some of the fears here. But also, you can go to therapy as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe for some of you, I'm getting a specific message. You might even want to look into switching therapists if that's possible, because for some of you, I'm getting this message that like the therapist that you have could have specific wounds around love and might not be able to give you supportive guidance. They might be really rooted in wounding and not be able to support you as you step into a new phase of life. And that's not a judgment. It doesn't mean they're a bad therapist or anything like that. It just means their specific skill set may no longer be useful for what you're ready for. That's a very specific message that came through, and that'll be specific for all of you. Right? You'll know if it's you, I guess, but probably because you've already had that feeling but have felt like, well, I don't want to like break up with my therapist. Like, that's okay to do that. Like, it's a job, you know, and I would assume all therapists want to do their job well, and if they can't help someone, then it makes the most sense for you to go where you can be helped, and to make room for someone else who could benefit from their help, to make room for someone else to have that space. So you're not doing anything wrong by that. In fact, the more you can embrace the new in your life, the easier and less daunting it will feel to have conversations right now with this person that feel impossible. You can do it. And I guess, like, I just want to ask now, I kind of want to ask something sweet, like, I want to ask what this person's higher self wants you to know. And their higher self is like their spiritual self. So we're not always connected to our higher selves, but it's our most enlightened truth. So Pile 4's person's higher self, what would you like Pile 4 to know at this time? We have we have the 5 of Pentacles and the Chariot. Their higher self is saying, don't give up, and also don't give up on this person, believe in them. They are overcoming some pretty intense lack mentality, but they are going to be okay. Like, don't, especially with the Sacral coming out, like, don't doubt their desire for you, and also don't let fear and lack trick you into thinking that this situation is a failure, because I do feel like this person is going to rise to the occasion, and they just may need to sit with themselves long enough to realize that they are their own worst enemy, and that the boogeyman or the deception that they are fearful of is in the mirror, sabotaging good things, because they are afraid of ruining them or not being good enough for them or experiencing more pain. And it's the most human thing in the world, but they are going to overcome it. And it's important that you believe that too. They just need to be more balanced. And also, they need to know and need to recognize that you're not going to play those games with them. So they better come correct, or keep playing Monopoly and at home. I don't know. So I feel like their higher self really wants you to know that these challenges are not signs of failure. They're signs of what you're capable of overcoming, and also how far you've come in terms of like the tools that you've developed to navigate challenge, and the ways in which like you're able to accept the challenges that other people have and realize they're not personal. But also know, like, you guys can overcome this. And I feel like their higher self is saying, like, believe that they will outgrow this. They're smart enough to, and they recognize it. And it doesn't even feel good for them. Like ever since they made this decision, it does not, like, they don't feel good. They don't feel happy. It feels like shit. Let them feel that way. That's how they need to feel. Because the person that overcompensates and that comes in and then says, oh, hi, oh, it's okay. That's then you saying, oh, okay. Like, that's you feeling like you're responsible for their emotional pain. And you're not. You're not. You're responsible for you. They're responsible for them. Trust that they can step up to the plate, but they need to do it themselves. And as long as you're taking action that's aligned with your integrity and what you've learned, and with the version of yourself that is wiser and more understanding and more healed, that version of you knows the best action to take. And trust that your person will grow and understand this as well. I think even quicker than you realize. But they are unbalanced right now, so they're getting that figured out. And in the meantime, just continue slaying, I guess. Like, there's really nothing else for you to do. I mean, of course you can miss this person and, you know, still be cool with them and reach out to them and do whatever you want, as long as it's aligned with your heart. But also just know, like, when you see the game board out, you're busy. You got something else to do. You don't have time for that. But if they want to put it away and they want to sit and be real with you, then you got all the time in the world. So pile 4, I'm gonna move over into the extended now. So if you guys want to, I'm definitely curious to see how this person, like, I'm curious. I think it's gonna be really juicy. So if you want to join me over there, feel free to. But if you are leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel. But if you'd like to do that other ways, check out the extended. You can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I'm reading. Shout out to my notification squad. I'm sorry I haven't shouted you out. This is the first time I shouted you out in this video. I knew I was forgetting something. I apologize. You guys are great and I love you. Thank you for being here. If you want me to see your comments, it's up to fate now. It's just up to fate. But someone else might need to see it. So even if you don't know if I'll see it, maybe share it because someone else might need to hear it. But also I may see it and maybe I need to hear it. So unless it's really mean, then keep it to yourself. I also have candles. Be sure to use code XO10 for 10% off. Social media, merch, all that jazz. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading resonated and brought you more clarity and understanding. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!